Oh, shoot. What up, y'all? Gonna make sure that my captions come on the screen, though. It looks like they're up for the Twitch audience. They can see what is up with me, which is important. I want them to feel welcome. And if you're hard of hearing, I still want you feeling welcome. I'm coming up with lyrics off the top of my head. And I don't quite know what's about to be said. But I'm doing my best to keep this going. And you think I might be done here, but you wouldn't be knowing. I am incredibly proud that I managed to stick that fucking landing. Yes. Why do you ask? This is in the discussion for greatest OC remixes that don't have vocals. I think I put the Impresario in a class of its own because they made a whole ass goddamn rock opera. Come the fuck on with that. Just unnecessary good. Gonna give people a few more moments to show up because it is a Saturday. And you know, people got lives, people got shit to do, things to do, people to see, things to see them with, folks to entertain while they're seeing them. Collections of parts and things and such, which put together would be seen as a thing with those who are going to see them. But what do I put on the background? Oh, I know. A very stress-inducing song.
Florin Decor has
Well, this is
more
an ad.
styles.
But then I have to add, also hi Zeke, by the way, since I never said hi, but a very stress-inducing ad. If a moment ago you were wondering why I said it was a very stress-inducing song, I think you're starting to realize what makes this so stress-inducing. If prior to this moment you did not realize, I feel like now you realize. It's like the musical equivalent of edging. Especially because it never starts. I'm not going to ask why. I don't have an answer for you. But this is the same thing, by the way. Here's one for you. Those are both, obviously, people on the internet screwing with people. What I'm about to show you, however, and I brought this up on this channel before, but thank God for later games in the Final Fantasy series, because this is the entirety of the Chocobo theme as it was originally written and put into Final Fantasy II for the Famicom Entertainment System. This is the whole thing. It's the whole song. This is actually like Nobuo Uematsu is a legendary composer, okay? He deserves all the credit and respect in the world for what he has done for video game music across our lives, and some of the incredible pieces he has written. But not all of them. Then Final Fantasy III came along.
Am I an influencer yet?
Depends
This
how
is
many
an ad.
customers you can get to save money with Progressive.
I found my purpose.
And he said, hey, remember that song I wrote for the Chocobos? What if I made it not suck anymore? And the world was made right. So I need everybody, regardless of how you feel about that game, to give a big hearty thank you, Final Fantasy III. Because were it not for Final Fantasy III, that shit would have been ass butt. Just straight up ass butt. Like, that was bad, and it never got better until we went to a whole ass different game. That's the thing about it. Is at no point did you like, it almost felt like unclenching when I played the Final Fantasy III version. Which is, accurate for a lot of reasons. Na da 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 da. All right, let me get my stuff set. Gideon's team, unfortunately, for those of you who are interested in this tale, lost their playoff game today. They were playing against how do I put this without trying to sound jaded? They were playing against a team that was better, to be clear. I'm not going to say like a team that got 2 scores up. Well, slightly better. The score wasn't indicative of how it was. They got 2 scores on them early on, and then Gideon's team was figuring out an alternative way to move the ball. And then the other team started getting real clippy, shall we say. And I'm not talking about the fucking paperclip. Started getting real clippy, real chippy, just playing really dirty. And the thing about it is that it eventually escalated until in the second half, they tried to start an all-out brawl in the middle of the field. Shit went absolutely bananas. And basically they were like, okay, we're going to call this here. And they didn't like the other team were the ones starting the fights to the point where we got on camera two of their guys straight hauling ass and swinging on 2 of our players. But the refs didn't say they were going to toss those players because it was just a big battle. So then the other team goes to the sideline. They start like doing this move. It was real problematic. So here's the thing. Did we lose? Yes. But I don't know. If I was a coach, if I had the ability to be coach of either team, I felt prouder about our kids like keeping their composure and not losing it in a huge tussle and being absolute jackasses. So, what's up? What? 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 Can you just ask?
I have nothing to do.
Okay, so what do you want me to do? So what were you just asking?
That.
What?
What I just said.
I didn't hear it.
What I just said is what I was gonna say.
That you have nothing to do?
Yeah.
Buddy, you're gonna have to keep your time on your own today. What do you want me to do? Love you. That seems like it was an actual choice, but I go, oh, listen. Let me tell you. I have little to no respect for the coaches because, like, if I was a coach and I saw my team, it's the same idea as how, like, the whole your community is a reflection of you thing when it comes to, like, streaming and things like that. Like, much the same, if you decide you're gonna, like, coach Little League sports or something along those lines, your team and their mentality and their actions and the like are a reflection of what you instill in them and what you allow, right? So at the end of the day, like, we are dealing with 11-year-old, 12-year-old kids, so they're gonna be imperfect, sure, but also we're dealing with 11 and 12-year-old kids, and you absolutely have the ability to say something, to do something. You could have you could have not cursed the kids out, but you could have gotten on them for how they were acting, and that would have shown me, oh, they got a little bit over their skis, and the coach calmed them down. No, they were being completely allowed to go off by their coach, by the parents, by all of them, and it's like, okay, this is the values you espouse to these kids. Okay, cool. I got nothing. If you think that's okay, then cool. You and I are just fundamentally going to be in just we're fundamentally going to disagree. Because I can't help but state that when you're talking about 11 and 12-year-old boys, it's less important that you're instilling football fundamentals in them and more important that you're instilling, character and, like, tools they can use, like, and work ethic and things like that. Like, you're trying to instill good lessons in these kids so that they learn how to be good sports, so that they learn how to work hard and fight for things, what have you. The football is just kind of the vehicle of those things. And you have shown none of that. Not nan one bit of it. It is what it is. Like, so given the choices of what we could have been versus that, I'm glad we have the team we do. Okay, so we are in Heritage Found. I want to say this place is called, right? Heritage Found, which is the future, but in the present, brought to its past. And we're walking around with a Sphene here because we're trying to figure out what things are like here and possibly find our way to defeat Zoraal-Ja, aka the world's biggest asshole. That is not what that is. Heritage Found? What did I say that was wrong? What did I say that was wrong, Caracal? The future, but it's the present, but it was brought to the past. It's not the future that is brought into the past. We are accessing it. But we didn't... It's not like we used a time travel device to get here. And this bubble... Time moved faster in that space. This space... has been brought into our dimension, this bubble, which can be seen from the outside, and within that bubble, time has moved faster, but it was in another place that Zoraal-Ja accessed, which was fundamentally the future, because time moves faster there, and thus they have more future. I guess technically, it's not necessarily the future, because it is a different location, so then you get into the subjectivity of theoretically it could be an equilateral present or even a past, but in a world where science moves at a more rapid rate. But fundamentally an equivalent to us. If you give me long enough, I'm pretty sure I can convince you. You just have to let me spew enough bullshit. Anyways, I mostly just needed it to be the future for the purpose of making the joke title of this episode Days of Future Present. The difference is, we're not going to randomly kill a black guy for no fucking reason. X-Men! I will never get over Darwin's death. Not till the day I fucking die. I will be on my deathbed and be like, fuck those guys. And that will be how I exhale out my breath of life. Still not. Caracal, I remember figuring that shit out in the movie theater when it came out, the first time I watched it. I literally openly said to the people I went with, I was like, did Michael Bay just kill the black robot? And he's the only one! Other than Megatron. Right? But he's the only fucking one! Ratchet and Bumblebee, they're all alive! You killed the black... He didn't even need to be a black robot. You made one of the robots black and then killed him. Michael Bay might need to be arrested. Oh, Frankie Lulu, yeah, no, it's the worst. Like, it's, like, literally, that's his fucking power, guys. His one power is that he can't die. He doesn't have a power that is useful in the sense that it does something. His only power is, I can't die. And you killed him. I kept waiting for them to find a way to go back and be like, just kidding. Because... let's see if you can adapt to this. Yes, let's! Because he will! According to the comics! TBH, we don't even know that time moved at a different speed when Zoraljah went over, but during the merging, the time in the bubble sped up. So, my assumption is that time had to have either moved at a different speed, or... then you have to get into the weirdness of we're going to another plane that even if time moves at the same speed was, for whatever reason, further along in their timeline at the point of connection. Because otherwise you just have to assume the people in both scenarios, one of them has superior technology available to them and just hand wave it. Which you could, I guess, do that, but I don't know. I just feel like, Here's the real if we can all be really 100% honest, when it comes to timey-wimey bullshit, and I say this with love, Square has never known what the fuck they're doing. Like, they've always just kind of just tumbled about with it. If it's following a linear path and progression of time, that's fine. We're cool. The moment they get into anything that even starts dabbling into time travel, they nailed it once with Chrono Trigger, and they did some sort of deal with the devil on that one, because they have never been able to touch it ever since. Like, it just all gets real fucky. Ever since then. Nailed it with Chrono Trigger. The lightning in a bottle. Then, and I say that about games I like. I am on the record as being a Final Fantasy XIII defender. And yet, Final Fantasy XIII 2 legally had a story. Legally. XIII 2 is better than 13. Mechanically, yes. Storyline-wise, I'd rather take 13. But that's also, to be fair, it's because of the fact that, like, while I do like Sarah, I don't like Noelle as much as I like, say, Saz or Snow or Fang. So, like, you're kind of... you can connect but so much with the narrative if you can't properly connect with the characters. And I don't think Noelle is terrible. I just... he's not my cup of tea. We just didn't click the way you would think I would.
Allow me to introduce you to Mahosa, one of the most experienced farmhands in all of Alexandria. She's well versed in myriad farming techniques. Indeed, the wealth of knowledge she has shared with other farmers is what has allowed this place to flourish. Queen Sphene, to what do I owe the sudden shower of praise? My apologies for the interruption. I'm come with guests from beyond the barrier. They wish to learn more of Alexandria, and so I invited them to see how our crops are grown. I do hope that's all right. So the rumors of visitors from the outside were true. What manner of host would we be to deny them a look around? And I gather your majesty also intended to check on things here? You know me too well, Mahosa. I thought to seize this opportunity to see how the farmers fare, and perhaps pepper them with a few questions, though I do so enjoy observing and taking part in the work too. 'Twould appear we have her permission, so please walk the grounds to your heart's content.
Oh! That reminds me. Apparently, I need to get my hands on Veilguard at some point for the character creator alone. But I need y'all to understand, someone has already made the greatest joke about the Dragon Age Veilguard character creator that anyone could make, having to relate to the black hair options in the game. And it's a positive, but my favorite joke about Jazz is when they brought him out in the 30 Rock episode to help make black people. Yeah, that is correct. All right. This is the greatest possible joke that could be made in relation to the availability of black hairstyles in Dragon Age the Veilguard character creator, specifically revolving around hairstyle number 58.
Just let your soul glow. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul, baby, feeling oh so silky smooth. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul glow.
So glow.
Just
Ah! Oh, it's so good. Oh, what we got going on here?
Black Americans.
Yes. The whole Black Americans for Romney ad, truly, truly great shit. No, I completely fucking lost it when I saw that hit my timeline. I was like, all right, I gotta get my hands on the game. Jokes aside, let me kind of use this opportunity now to kind of clue everyone in. So, I'm not sure how much I actually have left on Dawntrail. I do know I have an entire other area. So I'm streaming it today, tomorrow, next weekend. I don't know how much more I need than that, but we'll see. But moving forward, just because the situation, my midweek stream will, with Sephi and /or, an extra one possibly with myself, we will see how this goes, will probably be moved to Wednesday/Thursday. Possibly both. Again, we're going to see. It's all up in flux. Long story short, the kids will be staying with their mom a couple nights a week and on Sundays moving forward. So, I will be using that time to do stuff. And moving forward, I do want to... First of all, I have to buckle down and get the editing done in my spare time when I can for Suikoden in One Losers Only and get that video out. But... I kind of want to do more in the way of challenge videos. And so one of the things I thought of is, what if I stream running the challenge, and then this way, it's not going to be every challenge run I do, but by streaming, taking the time to stream doing a challenge, like, you all can be a part of it during the process, and then once we get to the video, or like, I've gotten that work in by streaming. It helps tremendously. So I think I'm going to do that at least for a bit, especially because I have done nonstop just big release after big release after big release this year. It was right away Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth into Final Fantasy VII Rebirth into Dawntrail. It's been a lot of big, high-name, new game drops. And it's like, you know what? I kind of don't want to do another brand new game release right now, to be honest. So what I think I'm going to do as a result... Oh! Ayuden Chronicle! 100 Heroes. I knew there was another one in there. So, I think after I finish Dawntrail, I'm going to move on to the next challenge run video I plan to do, which is a Final Fantasy IV challenge. More specifically, the run is going to be, can you beat Final Fantasy IV with just Edward? Gonna be a good time.
You go on ahead. I'll keep Sphene company. Don't misunderstand. I'm not the suspicious type. But given our positions, it would make sense for us to go around together, wouldn't you say?
Donation incentive for chat to intervene on challenge runs. Intervene how?
A fair point, but be sure not to let me out of your sight. I shall remain under Wilclamot's watchful eye. Pray, come find us after you've seen your fill and spoken with the other farmhands.
The current runs I have planned are Final Fantasy IV with just Edward, Suikoden 2 with losers only at some point. Breath of Fire 3 with only wrong builds. This is what I'm calling it. And then doing the Fire Emblem Nuzlocke.
They're saying that you and yours are visitors from beyond the barrier. That true? So it is! Which means we're connected to the outside world again. Not that I ever decided to leave, mind you. I'm quite content with life here in Alexandria. But setting that aside, you're here to observe our work, right? As you can see, I'm in charge of livestock. Here at Upye's Halo, we produce not only fruits and vegetables, but also meat, poultry, and eggs. Tending the animals is an absolute joy, but I have to be careful not to grow attached. It's always a little sad when they're shipped off, but a job is a job. Well, I need to get back to it, but it was nice talking to you. Please give my regards to the Queen.
Yeah, so, I never play my runs. It's usually surprised with some bad eggs. So, to be clear, on something like, you know, FF4, Edward only, or what have you, I don't think I would do that. What I would consider is if in something like, I don't know, Breath of Fire 3 with wrong builds only, if it was like, when we got to the arena battles, my plan would be, for those of you who played Breath of Fire 3, there's a section where you have to do a series of battles in an arena, and your first round is a set of 1v1s against a three-person team. Cower, Claw, and Patrio. I couldn't remember. Or Claw, Cower, and Patrio, technically, is the order you face them in. But you're being held up by a dude named the Dodai, and who's standing on lava holding your platform. And technically it would be possible to kill the Dodai instead of the people. And if you do, you automatically end up winning the whole series of fights. But it's very difficult. The Dodai has a ton of health. Da-da-da. The point is, I could see it if it was an incentive like, hey, we'll donate to say you have to kill the Dodai instead of killing the three people. You know, that would be the type of thing where it's like, oh, making me do the harder version of a fight that is already somewhat difficult, so long as it proves to be possible. That's something I would consider. But if it's something like with Edward only being like, hey, for this next fight you're not allowed to use items, no. Like, I'm not gonna put it out of the range of being possible, if that makes sense. So it would be the best way I can put it is, it would be something I would consider, and it would be something I would consider on a case-by-case basis. Like, where it could apply. But it would not be the default allowance of, if you give me money, I'm gonna change some shit for something that goes on to be a YouTube video. Well, they say it's a storehouse, or rather the entrance. Real storehouse underground, much more spacious, and equipped with a temperature regulation system to keep the harvest from spoiling. Since the entrance is so small, it's much easier to prevent wild beasts from wandering inside, which also makes it a viable facility for breeding and raising livestock. We even got a few beds down there for emergencies. My parents often complain about how Alexandrian technology and electrope complicates our lives, but it's just a matter of learning how things work. Take my jobs, for instance. I'm presently overseeing the storage of harvested crops. They'll be taken up to the tower for processing, and from there find their way to every dining table in Alexandria. Work is hard, I'll not deny, but I take great satisfaction in what we do. Wait, that was... Hold on, let me see it. I never plan my runs. It's a surprise from some bad eggs. No! Get out!
Light levels appear to be fine. As for the power source... You wish to know about my job? I tend to the fields mostly. Watering the crops, keeping the soil fertile, and so on. I admittedly took some time until I fully understood how best to carry out my duties. I also manage the lamps we use in the fields, and do our best to keep everything up to code, but should they ever start to malfunction, it's up to me to fix them. The land and sky being what they are, ensuring a rich harvest makes for constant work. But honestly, I enjoy how involved the process is. Both my parents being Alexandrian, I didn't grow up knowing much of anything about farming. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. Also, for anybody who happens to be a fan of Vampire Survivors, I did get a code for the Castlevania DLC. I may take a stream and just show that off. It is very good, which is unsurprising. Vampire Survivors is very good. But, like, it is immediately very Castlevania in a way that feels right. Also, there's way, way fucking more of it than they let on when they told you about it. They advertised it as having 20 plus new characters and 40 plus new weapons. And that's like half of what actually comes in it. I see. Don't be too hard on yourself. Anyone would have been hard-pressed to deal with such a thing. Oh, welcome back. My apologies for failing to notice your return. I guess you've had your fill of speaking with the farmers. Then let's return to Mahusa.
Hey, bud, got D&D tonight, so just popping by to say hey and give you love. Catch you next time. Appreciate you, Cam. Hope you and Charm have a good one. Yeah, it was a load-bearing plus, Wizard Styles.
Well, what are your impressions of the farm?
Everything was surprisingly normal.
Oh, that's comforting to hear. Your words serve to affirm that my people do not work with undue strain. And what did you think of our little tour, Lamati? What did you call me? Was that inappropriate? My apologies. I heard the others call you by that name, and I thought... No, it's fine. As you said before, we've no need for titles and formalities. As for my thoughts, I was very impressed. That machines can be used to overcome so harsh an environment is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. The feeling is understandable. Indeed, many still find the machinery behind me baffling. It's a system that controls the distribution of water for the fields and livestock. It's been acting up lately, though. Acting up, you say? You need worry, my queen. It happens fairly often. Put simply, it's taken in water that had a strong lightning charge. We think some creatures have become charged up with energy and they're releasing it into the river we use as a source. System would return to normal if the creatures were dealt with, but I'm reluctant to beg it of the army. We could take care of it if you like.
I would like to point out,
that is the most gracious of you to offer, but it is much too dangerous. Oh, it's no trouble for the vow of resolve of Tural. Regardless of how the relationship between our nations may develop, if there are people in need, I want to help. Simple as that. And Anoriand is even stronger than I am. It shouldn't take us long at all. Then very well. I gracefully accept, but please take all care.
I would like to point out,
this ought to go even faster if you and I search for lightning charge fiends on our own. Good hunting.
I love all the people who are sitting here already getting mad, because they're talking about how 7.1 is coming soon and stuff like that. I love all the people who are sitting here getting mad already, like, if Uklamat's the main focus in 7.1, I'm gonna be furious. Have you seen the story of 7.0? What the fuck do you think is gonna happen, bro? Spoiler, she's still important. What up, Booger? Huh? For what? What? Okay. Go grab that beanie. Right there in front of you, your cheeks. Does it matter if it matches if you're just going outside? I'm just trying to get you to the action faster. I'm just trying to get you out there faster. Now you. Without any context, because I haven't played the game, I'm going to guess Kaiju, but that's just stab in the dark. Wuklamont is the big cat girl who was just next to us with the giant axe. And she has been, for lack of a better way of putting it, the main fucking character of this expansion. And people are mad because they want to be the main character of the expansion. And like, okay, fine, you're allowed to feel that way. But her being the main character is not an affront to you, dude. And so people hate the character because, you know, it's someone else being the main character of the expansion, and also it's a girl, and also her voice actress in the English dub is trans. So everyone's just a hateful SOB.
You're both all right. Thank goodness. You really needn't have worried so much. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends. They're all gone now. Of course I was worried. You're my dear guests. But thank you. We truly appreciate this. Indeed. With this, we won't have to ask Tural Jar's machines for help. He's been making a concerted effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a fraction for the people's protection. He thinks nothing of our safety, unlike Queen Sphene. That's enough, Mahusa. If you have grievances, I will hear them later. But to speak of the king now... No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his people. Anyway... Thanks for letting us tour the farm. The folk here are delightful, and it was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favored us with more uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. But isn't this an MMO? Players, oh, yeah. Hey, so we started from the bottom, now we're here, girl. Oh, yeah. This is my part right here. What's going on, Jordan? And also people from Jordan's Place. Hi, folks. My name's Anoriand. My name's Josh. You can call me Anoriand. I play old stuff. I play new stuff. I play RPGs. I play platformers. I play a little bit of everything. And today I am playing some Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. For those of you who are familiar with the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, now with a free trial that goes all the way up to level 70 and the entire award-winning Heavensward and Stormblood expansions with no limits on playtime. Yeah, I said it. I did say it. And what? But welcome! How y'all doing today? Mozzarella! Hi! I like you. We've met before. We're friends. I know Mozzarella. She's wonderful. How are you doing? Good to see you. But also, Jordan, I'm using a different chat thing. Is that I am Puddleglum. I couldn't tell if that was I am or Lamp. I am Puddleglum. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate you. Jordan, if you're here, what were you playing? What were you streaming? What were you doing?
What's the haps? I use a chat client now called Caster Labs, and it does let me do shoutouts and stuff, but it doesn't let me code it to where like it tells me what you streamed because I'm multi-streaming to Twitch and YouTube. So you just gotta kind of tell me. Good, because if you don't say it, then the FF Mafia send the attack move will send you. Listen, you gotta show respect to award-winning Final MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV. Now with the stuff, Stormblood 70, no limits.
And you never fail to let us know how much you care.
Also, I voice everyone in the unvoiced cutscenes, so... Oh, it was Ampistrano! That's right, today's Saturday. Listen, my brain is... Gone.
Of course. You're my precious family,
All of you. For those of you who are familiar with Final Fantasy XIV and who are just coming in, we have just met Sphene, who is the white girl of the expansion. If you're looking at me like, I'm sorry, what? Fun fact, when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV, every expansion has a white girl. With A Realm Reborn, it was Minfilia. With Stormblood, it was Lys. With Shadowbringers, it was Reen. With Endwalker, it was Meteon. And with Dawntrail, it is Sphene here. And if you're curious, but Josh, you skipped Heavensward, Thordan.
You seem a good sort, Sphene. That I'll admit. But you'll forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. For you to be called that, I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Come now, this is no laughing matter. A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives, and one wrong decision can lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconscionable. Now, I believe we are done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we?
We are in a pocket of space-time that is not the future, but is futuristic. Trying to fight Wuklamot's lizard brother, who's not actually her brother by birth, but is her brother, who is using techno powers to try and take over the world. No, I'm not making any of this up.
Perhaps we should head back to the outskirts. I dare say your friends will also have returned by now. My thanks again for dealing with the fiends. Come and visit us anytime.
Yeah, found family vibe. If by found family, you're referring to Wuklamot and Zeralja. Yeah, but it's only found family in that her father found her, and now they're family.
Do you hear that?
What the hell's going on? Is this going to start playing?
What's happening over there?
Oh, good. Voiced cutscene.
It's nearly time.
4. Ma'am, we're not from here. You can't just... What up, Liana? You can't just drop an "it's nearly time" and then walk away. Time for what? Dinner?
I'm glad you could make it.
The hell?
Are you with us?
Queen Sphene has come to see you.
What the hell's going on here?
We're here, Namika. Everything is going to be all right. What's the matter, dear?
Isn't that Wuklamot's wet nurse?
It can't be. That's the bangle I gave to Namika.
You know her?
Of course I know her. She was like a mother to me.
I see. She was always willing to lend a kindly ear to others, but rarely did she ever speak of herself.
Is it really you?
She must have arrived shortly before the barrier manifested. For us, it was perhaps days, but for her...
Namika, it's me! Wuklamat!
I'm afraid her time with us is nearly at an end.
Here we go.
Has she no more soul cells?
She always used hers sparingly, but at her age, it wouldn't make a difference.
Come again?
Ma'am, the ushers have arrived.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna need you to back up. What?
Thank you, Namika, for your many years of friendship. Take comfort in the knowledge that this is not
What in the world
end.
are soul cells? Frankie,
Not
I'll tell you
afraid.
as soon as they tell me.
Your memory will live on. In us.
Living on in memory. The giants share a similar belief.
Something perfectly innocent and surely not at all problematic. Ah, what sort of fucking Soylent Green is people ass shit am I about to get involved in here?
Wait, where are you taking her?
Worry not. She is being escorted to a medical facility in the tower. There we will ease her burden.
Oh, good. Euthanasia.
I had hoped to make arrangements for her sooner, but she wished to remain here for as long as possible. I could not bring myself to refuse her.
Is there any way I might stay with her for a little while longer?
I actually have a euthanasia joke, but I'm gonna wait till after this cutscene.
We may not share the same blood, but she was my mother. Please.
Let us give them some time alone.
She didn't speak, but I'm grateful that I could be with her at the end. Thank you.
It's not the end. Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that we have much to discuss. Where shall we begin?
Don't you owe nothing
With
me?
what we can be reasonably certain of.
I think you need to explain that.
Between what we have witnessed and the testimony of Alexandria's inhabitants, it's safe to say that two distinct lands have indeed become one. What's more, having met Namika, There is no denying the divergence in the passage of time. Taken together, these phenomena strongly suggest that some manner of cross-rift displacement has occurred. Specifically, the displacement of Alexandria from another reflection to the source.
It does seem the most likely explanation.
What perplexes me, however, is the scale of said displacement. It far exceeds what could conceivably be achieved with a void gate, or even with the Crystal Tower.
I heard bivergence instead
In
of
essence,
divergence
we are
because of his
dealing with a
accent.
localized instance of dimensional compression.
He's not talking about himself, Ops
The
Goblin.
Ascians would no doubt liken it to a rejoining. Which invites the question, how was such a feat accomplished?
I wish that I had an answer for you, but this talk of reflections and dimensions is well beyond my understanding. I can only tell you that we lived peacefully under the barrier's protection for many, many years, until the day that peace was suddenly broken.
If I may clarify, the barrier predates Alexandria's displacement.
By several hundred years, yes. To when the continent we call home was ravaged by a devastating cataclysm. The barrier was erected to isolate us from the surrounding land's innocuous influence.
Okay.
I see. And it was only later that it was whisked away, along with its contents, by means unknown.
In other words, Sphene's as lost as the rest of us, right? The Alexandrians didn't mean to end up in Tural.
There's really only one way that adds up. And that's that lizard boy is orchestrating this whole shit.
But of course, our next stop ought to be Everkeep. That tower over yonder. Once you have been registered as my guests, you will have access to Solution 9 and its residential district, where you will doubtless gain invaluable insight into Alexandria's state of
Final
affairs.
Fantasy IX reference detected!
Unfortunately, I cannot take you directly to where Eorzea resides.
That you'd let us in it all goes a long way toward proving you're not content to let Eorzea do as he pleases. But we're not talking about a simple difference of opinion here.
Zidane really had some great fucking move names.
I've come to avenge my father. And to do so, I intend to take Eorzea's life. Are you willing to stand by and allow Alexandria's king to be slain?
A fair question. Permit me to answer it thus. My people come first. Their welfare is paramount. I will do everything in my power to keep them from harm. It is a ruler's duty. Now, I am off to register you at Everkeep. It may take some time, but you shall find the entrance open to you in due course.
Okay, so obviously they're skipping.
Oh, and ere I forget, your mother, Kafkiwa, you might try the Thunder Yards to the east.
They're obviously skipping.
The Thunder Yards? Is that where she is?
Hold on.
I am afraid I can say no more than that. Make for the Thunder Yards, and all will be made clear.
It's not as if we have other pressing business. Not until we can get into this Everkeep, anyway.
They're obviously skipping explaining soul cells to us so far, but my guess
Thank you
is
for earlier. And
that's
for
what's
being
going
a
on
friend to
here
Namika
in
this
their
past
head.
30
They
years.
get soul cells,
Means a
and
lot
that's
to
what
me.
revived Zoral Ja in the fight with Bakul Jaja.
Namika?
Excuse me, Gabul Jaja.
Sorry, but I don't know who you mean.
What? We were just with her. If this is some sort of a joke, it
Zoral
isn't
Ja
funny.
revived. I know. I got
I don't mean to give offense.
the two-headed lizards
I
mixed up
honestly
between
have
Dad
no
and
idea
asshole.
who you are talking about. I'm sorry.
But my guess is that this thingy
How can you not
is the
know
source
who
of the
she
soul
is?
cell, and literally that
You're
the
in
souls
charge here. She was under your care.
are taken from people who are about to die and used.
Then in all likelihood, my memories of her have been stored in the cloud.
As a backup battery. Yes, Frankie.
Any person seemingly forgotten without reason is probably there, in the cloud. Oh, I really must be getting back to work. If you'll excuse me.
So yeah, that's my current running guess on what the deal with soul cells is. But also, now, I can finally say, I said a moment ago, I have a joke about euthanasia. Now, that is obviously some very dangerous white man steps I'm walking into. But to be clear, the joke is not, haha, people dying funny. The joke is about the word itself, euthanasia. Because in 10th grade, I was in English 2. The teacher's name was Miss Phelan. And not spelled F-I-I-L-I-N. Funny as that would be, it's P-H-E-L-A-N. And we all had to do a major book report before the end of the year. And Miss Phelan gave everybody different topics that they had to write about. And she gave one kid in class the topic euthanasia. And that kid came on the day the report was due in English, Honors English 2, to be clear. In Honors English 2, that kid came in on the day the project was due. And he gave his report on youth in Asia. She said, your topic is euthanasia. And she never clarified, like, for or against or anything like that. Just, the whole thing is that it was persuasive. Like, everyone's topic, to be clear, was preordained as being persuasive. You had to either argue for or against. So this kid got the topic youth in Asia. And to his credit, he was pro-youth in Asia. He talked about how Asian children... He started talking and going on about how Asian children tend to have, great... much, much higher rates of college acceptance and job placement and this, that, or the other. And the teacher let him get through the entire fucking report with all of us just kind of turning and looking and everyone being like, is anyone gonna fucking say anything? Before she finally went, euthanasia. E-U-T, like spelled the word out. E-U-D-H-A-N. And he just... Like, he was holding his fucking paper, and you just see him. You saw the soul leave his eyes in that moment. And she was just like, to your credit, you did put in the effort to write an entire report already. So I will give you until the end of the week to fix this. Like I said, to his credit, he was pro-youth in Asia. At the very least. It could have been worse. He could have been against. I just want to point out, things could have been worse. But he was pro-youth in Asia. So, hey. She accepted the fact that he did a report as, I will allow you to read. And literally afterwards what she said was, he was like, what? And she's like, I'm serious. I won't mark you off for losing points or anything like that. You wrote a full report. But also, I can't believe you did that. And I don't know how else to respond. So you have until the end of the week to write a new one. Honestly, I agree with y'all. I think she should have been like, fuck it, give me the paper, let's keep it moving. But also, to be fair, the key... See, here's the thing. It's two hands, right? Because on the one hand, he took the time to write out a report and put in the effort. And to his credit, he had some great salient data points in there. And he delivered the presentation well and all that shit. And on the other hand, I just want to remind you all, he heard that he had to write a persuasive essay on youth in Asia and wrote about kids in China. I just really need to let that, just ram that point home. I don't want to, it's like when a kid keeps trying to put his hand on the oven, like after a certain point you go, maybe it's not a me thing. It's perspective. Yeah, that's right. It's perspective.
What's going on? How could Pepone suddenly forget about Namika? It's as if he never knew her. Could the same thing have happened to others as well, I wonder? There's only one way to find out. Let's make inquiries about Namika in the area. We can reconvene afterwards at the Aetheryte.
I only say that because it's not that serious. It's not like it had to be specifically about euthanasia. You heard wrong, yeah, the kid was ridiculous, but I still would accept the paper. No. That's why I'm like, listen. I fully agree. I just also, you know, my guy, my buddy, my friend, my pal. I got some concerns. I got some concerns about your academic future. Can you imagine if this dude went to Google and typed in, because imagine if he typed in youth in Asia and Google is like, are you sure? Do you mean? Maybe I do mean that.
An old woman named Namika? I'm afraid I don't know that person. Sorry I couldn't be of help.
Accept the paper, but never let that slide. Oh, I think that's the other very fair option. I'm going to accept your paper. I'm not even going to mark any points off. But I'm going to make sure that I request to be allowed to be handing out the diplomas at your graduation. And when I hand you your diploma, I'm also going to hand you a copy of that paper. Like, on stage in front of everyone.
I do recall caring for someone until recently, and you say that it was a woman named Namika.
While I can't say for certain if it was her, I wouldn't worry. I'm sure she's just been taken up to the cloud. You know, the accurate thing here is that, much like in real life, I don't fucking trust the cloud. I cannot tell you. Every time I go to save some shit, it's like, do you want to save it on OneDrive? I'm like, no. I want to save it on my goddamn hard drive. Right here on my computer. What's that? Do I know a Namika? And plus, American children couldn't come up with PS5. And so in... Honestly, it reminds me, for those of you who remember the show Smart Guy, it reminds me of one of my favorite little beat vignettes from that entire series, which is when the dude who's like the idiot, for a while they tried portraying him as like a bully, and then they kind of just honed in on making him an idiot. This kid in the school is talking, and he's like, and so we have shown you that God, what is the... It's, and so you can see how a small team of specialized warriors with advanced skills could have changed the tide of war. Thank you. And the teacher goes, yes, thank you for your report. What if the X-Men were at Hiroshima? It's got the same energy.
Never met anyone by that name, but I've worked at the outskirts for a good while now. If she spent time here, I would remember.
I'm sorry for the yawning, folks. I guess it's just that time of day. I don't know. Ah! My wife points out that the whole point of essay writing in high school is to prepare you to write essays in college. So, like, he got the skill experience he needed from it. So unless she needed someone to convince her against performing euthanasia, having one done on her, I feel like she should have just accepted the paper he wrote. Listen, ultimately, I want to be very clear. If I'm the teacher, I'm going to go with the exact same strategy as Sleazy Mirror. I'm going to take the paper. I'm not even going to mark you off for getting the conceit of this thing wrong, but I'm never going to let you live that shit down. Playfully, but I'm never going to let you live that shit down. Like, I think that's a fair way to do it. I'm not going to knock off points. I'm not going to do anything. Buddy, you heard euthanasia and started talking about Malaysian children. I just need you to know, okay? That's what I think is the fairest option, but is what it is.
So it was the same for everyone. Not a single person remembers Namika. It's as if the memory of her has been purged from their minds. Well, such a thing might have been done with magic. To alter the memories of so many at once would be a tremendous undertaking. We would have felt a surge of ether corresponding to the act, too. And I sensed none in that moment.
That becomes the kind of thing someone mentions in a yearbook quote. Exactly.
Neither did I. But I did notice something else. Right before Pepone seemingly forgot, a light in the device on his head began to blink. Could there be a connection? Someone also said something about soul cells. But who might we ask about this? If we continued making such inquiries, I expect we'd only cause confusion. Indeed, if we can't readily solve the mysteries about Namika, perhaps we could search for Kachua instead. Sphinx said to try the Thunder Yards. It should be in this direction.
It's like one of my favorite Tumblr meme jokes. Impossible! What the fuck am I looking at, man?
Another kind of mechanical soldier? It looks dangerous. We'd better destroy it. Wah!
I can't really talk because I'll never forget that when I was in 4th grade, we were required to write in a journal every week, and the teacher had to grade our entries. One week, we had to make an entry that was marked free choice. So I started writing about things like free will. Turns out, free choice meant that we could choose whatever we wanted to write about that day. In your defense, that was 4th grade versus 10th grade. I feel like that 6 years matters in this equation.
Should we give chase? I think it understood our words. It might be worth asking it some questions. Erenville, are you all right? You look like you've seen a ghost. It's nothing. I'm fine. Well, it went off in the direction that we headed anyway, so let's try to track it down. Yeah! I want to be clear, again, this was high school. This was English 2. More specifically, this was Honors English 2, where this happened. This was the advanced class. This isn't your average everyday stupid. This is advanced stupid. Anyways, but yeah, it would be like, I feel like the optimal response is the same as one of my favorite Tumblr meme jokes, which is me telling my friend about how I survived my plane crash landing on a deserted island. Yeah, and that's where I've been the last 3 months. My friend, who once heard me call the Grinch the Grink accidentally. Okay, but was the Grink there? Same energy. I cannot take this face seriously, y'all. Like, they're putting the serious music, but... Speaking of honors classes, you found it?
The greatest lie that Deborah Dollar told was, don't take honors classes, they're too hard.
To the northeast. Then it must be bound for the mines. Come on, then. It could well be a trap, so let's not rush in too quickly.
Well, to be fair, you shouldn't take honors classes, realistically speaking, but that's because if you find you are knowledgeable enough on a subject and feel confident enough that you would take honors classes, you should either take AP classes of the same variety, if available, or do dual enrollment. Because those will be of similar levels of difficulty, but they will provide you with college credit for free.
I heard faint voices coming from inside. So it's not alone, but we're still going in, of course. This may be a trap. Be ready for a fight, everyone.
Legit, my middle school teachers told me not to, and then I got to high school, all my normal class teachers were like, why the fuck are you here? You should take honors class. So that's fair. Oh great, my phone picked up a bunch of shit with the mic open. Ignore everything before, so now my wife. Whether now he should have, so now my wife, who only heard what I said, wants to know what his arguments for them were. Oh, for euthanasia? Again, he was very pro-euthanasia. He talked about how advanced they tend to be, how their grade point average when weighted across, international levels tends to be the highest. They're constantly involved in extracurriculars, but meanwhile, crime rates are exceedingly low. Like, they should be supported, things like that. Like, my school didn't have AP, it had to deal with the local community college. Again, honestly, dual enrollment / like taking college courses while in high school when it's offered and available is the best possible option. Because the thing with AP is some schools try and finagle and be like, okay, well, we don't have a direct correlation with that AP program. Shit like that. Like, they try and dodge giving you appropriate marks. Schools are well known as doing that. Whereas if you have a, you know, if your school has a deal with a local college and you can just do dual enrollment and take college courses and straight up get college credit, they can't refuse that. That's just credits. I can hear them. Several people up ahead. I can't make out their conversation with the echoing. Let's keep going. Stay on the ground. On your guard. So if that's the case, I would have just turned in the same exact paper, but added the sentence at the end. So don't kill them. Fair. That's the correct response. Him Angie.
What is this?
I don't know, but they Angie.
Ironville.
Okay.
A trap?
It really is you.
Thank you for the follow, Wild Mystic. I appreciate you. Tell me that's Cactua. Cacua.
Who?
I just have to get a look at you in the light. And I can still hardly believe my eyes. But it is you, my darling Anoriand.
My darling, what now?
Hi, I'm the wife. I figured I would pay attention to going through ops. I appreciate it, Wild Mystic. Good to meet you. How are you doing today? Is that your mom, Erinville?
Oh, it's so good to see you, my fussy little bun bun. But what are you doing here? What brings you all this way?
I have to say it. Fussy little bun bun.
Why the long face? Aren't you happy to see me after all this time?
I know that laugh anywhere. Mother?
Wait. Since when was your mother a weird floating thing?
And what have we here? Say, aren't you Gulu Jaja's kitten? I knew I recognized that adorable fuzzy face. Elenesphere was always so excited whenever you invited him over to play. You remember me, I hope?
Not in this form, and I feel like you need to be aware of that.
I can't say that I do, but you know my father?
Appearances notwithstanding, it would seem this is my mother, Kafkiwa.
I'm sorry?
Oh, this won't do. Come in, come in! Friends of my Elenesphere are always welcome.
All I ask is a little forewarning, but no.
Man. You know, I feel like you're being real chill about... Oh, 100% Caracal. Caracal. I heard that woman and I said, oh, that she black.
Handle on this place. How are things still getting stranger?
It's like how the first time I played Hades, I heard Eurydice and I clocked that shit. I was like, you're not a white woman. As far as I can tell, this is indeed my mother. I can think of few people in the world quite so spirited. But as to what's happened, we'll need to ask her. Let's hear what she has to say. So I'm not sure the exact way it is now, as it's been years, but in like my senior year, Southeastern expanded their deal to all the high schools. So county schools did start sending them for credit. I don't know for sure if it replaced the AP system or not.
It's so wonderful to meet you all. And the students of Baldessian. It's been a while since I heard that name. Dare I ask the reason for your appearance? Oh, this? It's just a body that I control remotely. I use this for our operations.
Oh, so she's still here?
We're members of a resistance organization. Oblivion, we call ourselves, and our goal is to thwart Soralja's ambitions for conquest. As the leader, it's prudent that I remain where I can't be easily found. I see. Whimsical appearances notwithstanding, yours is a serious cause. Right you are, though, truth be told, Oblivion was founded for an altogether different purpose.
And that is?
As I expect you've already noticed, everything you see within this dome, the buildings, the people, the very earth beneath our feet, is a fusion of two worlds. Stopping such a fusion was Oblivion's original mission. Then does that mean you know who or what is responsible for it? I'm afraid not. This was a long time ago, and our mission statement has become more of a legend that's passed down to members. By the time we joined, our sole objective was stopping Soralja. But we failed to do that, and now he's taken his army outside the dome. None of you wear those strange devices on your heads. Does that have something to do with your work?
I can't help but point out that I feel like the face that it makes, that's like the two eyes like big circles, and then the O here, like, I feel like that's a reference to news in Chrono Trigger. Yeah, I graduated way before that was possible. But that being said, I couldn't drive and I wouldn't be able to get anywhere to take it. Enough to me to take. So that would have been difficult. Yeah.
You mean this? It's a regulator, the pinnacle of electro technology, and that we don't wear it is indeed related to our operations.
What exactly does it do? Allow me to explain. Regulators have two primary functions. The first, as the name suggests, is the regulation of the wearer's reserve of souls. Should they die, the regulator expends a soul to bring them back to life.
Reserve? You mean people walk around carrying spare souls?
They do. Souls are packaged in cells, and they can be used to replenish the life force that's lost due to sudden death, such as in accidents. They do nothing for those who die of old age, though. Distribution of soul cells is based on one's work evaluation to encourage exemplary performance when fulfilling their duties.
Souls is a common resource and payment for services rendered.
Yeah, it's a little bleary.
The void-sent practice of consuming...
excuse me.
The void-sent practice of consuming others for their ether comes to mind. And similarly, I expect that the act comes with some risk.
I love this fucking song so much. Doesn't it dilute your sense of self? That is prevented through memory management, a process in which regulators also play a role.
Memory management? And the reason everyone has forgotten Nomika's existence is...
The regulators are constantly recording the memories of the wearer. So if they should suddenly die, the memories can be refreshed as part of the restoration process. This is how they preserve one's identity and sense of self. However, the regulators are also triggered when someone else dies. Reason being is that regulators forcibly extract memories relating to the deceased from anyone wearing one.
Why would they do such a thing?
Because the deceased are the souls that they use.
It's a kindness bestowed upon the people of Everkeep's core system, so that no one has to suffer the pain of loss. So this is what is meant by their memories being in the cloud.
Indeed. All memories of the deceased are wiped from the minds of the people and archived in the system. It's a frightening function of the regulators, and an integral step in soul cell production. You see, when a person dies of natural causes, their soul is temporarily housed within the regulator. Then it's delivered to a facility where memories are separated from the soul. The result is a fresh soul cell, free of impurities, ready for distribution and consumption. Yep. Soylent Green is people. Well, this can't be kosher.
Meanwhile, the memories are stored in the core system, to be remembered forever. And this is why people are happy here. On its surface, it's similar to the Yakhoi philosophy, but I see nothing noble or comforting in it.
Well, it doesn't seem so terrible to me, personally. All comes down to what you're used to, I suppose. Like the barrier encasing Alexandria, this system was created to overcome the calamity that transformed the world hundreds of years ago. Amidst the mounting death toll, scientists used Electrope to devise a means to save what lives they could, so that the nation could endure.
I understand the people of Alexandria did what they believed was best to save their people. I just find it hard to believe the Turali would also accept this way of living. It came as a shock to us as well. In fact, a great many were opposed to it. Which is why the use of regulators was never compulsory. The people have always been free to go without them if they so wish. Sphene didn't strike me as the sort of ruler to impose her will on others. Ah, so you've already met. She's the one who suggested we come to the Thunder Yards in the first place. She also said she wants to help us stop Zoral. Awfully kind of her to point you in my direction, and to speak so candidly as well. Whatever her motives, she's given the people a choice. Live with the risk of true death, or the security of the regulators. Everything that lives must someday die. That is the natural order of things. Quite right. But however you feel about them, it would be easier to understand what the regulators are capable of if you saw it for yourself. I know just the person to show you, and as luck would have it, they should be starting work right about now. Who are we going to see exactly? Come with me and you'll find out. Bing, bang, bing, bing. Arc is my main mount for this expansion, so I can do the thing. FF9 music while I'm doing FF9 theme things and stuff too. Everyone here? Good. It's the responsibility of the Thunderyard's hunters to fell any fiends found wandering the area. We're to meet an acquaintance of mine, Striker, one of these hunters. 72% through MSQ. Okay. Yeah, I figure by next weekend I should be wrapped up. Which works for me. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. It's such a good fight song. Apparently they updated the FF14 wiki I use, so it tells you the completion percentage level of quests in relation to MSQ. Okay, that's actually pretty dope. Kachshua? I'm trying to get it pronounced exactly. Kafkua. Kafkua? What are you doing here? And with so many friends? Apologies for the interruption, but I was hoping they might observe you at work. Hunting, you mean? That's fine, I guess. Hold on. I assume they were wearing special regulators like Queen's Fiend's crown, but they aren't wearing anything at all. It's much too dangerous to be here without one. What if they're struck by lightning or attacked by beasts? I can assure you they're all quite capable of looking after themselves. If anything should go amiss, I will take full responsibility. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Danger aside, there isn't really much to see. Kachua said you're a hunter, but wouldn't it be easier for those mechanical soldiers to guard this place? It would, if not for the fact they're weak to lightning. The Thunderyard being what it is, they've been ordered to steer clear. Some good they are, eh? But these facilities are vital to upkeeping of Alexandria's infrastructure, so it falls to hunters like me to deal with any fiends. Given the danger, we're well compensated for our work. It's a perfect profession for anyone who's looking to build up savings. Special selection of souls for hunters isn't terrible either. I brought this lot here to see the danger you speak of, if it's not too much trouble to ask. Of course, in which case it'd be a shame to waste my efforts on just any old beast. Y'all can handle yourselves in a fight, right? If you cause a ruckus slaying what quitters you see no by, there's a chance you'll draw out something worthy of a demonstration. Alright, so we gotta kill some things so that she can kill a thing. Okay. I'm not sure I understand, but I suppose we should each slay what we can. All right. Thunder, thunder, thunder spirit. It's like Thundercats, but more spirited. Yes, I said a terrible ass joke. And yet, you're all still here. So, is the problem me, or is it on you? Exactly. Charge Bolt Hound. It's funnier if you pronounce it Bolton. Because then it's a charge Bolton. And then, you know, that's just a hop and skip and a jump away from Michael Bolton. The moral of the story is I'm fighting Michael Bolton. That's really what I'm getting at. Also, can we address the fact that the soldiers are hostile to me? Feels a bit on the nose. Okay. Cutscene? Cutscene. The Cattle Bill Pass! Or as it was originally called in the PS1 release of Final Fantasy V here in the States, and I think the SNES release of FF6, Shoat. This one will do nicely. Oh, she's a monk. Okay. We'll help you! It's fine, really. I faced worse. Just watch. I don't like the looks of this. Let us help! Oh no! Look out! Is she gonna be turned to stone? Nope. It's just died. 12 preserve. She needs healing! Purple laser long count, not fucking around. Someone pointed out that there's something specific about the particular sound effect it used, but I still am not sure what it is because I don't play nearly enough healers. That was embarrassing. The bastard caught me off guard. Are you mad? Seriously, let us help! Uses the res sound effect. I told you not to worry. Yeah, but I thought someone was saying, like, the specific one mattered, but I guess it was just resurrection in general. This will only take a moment. She activated her buff. Just like Zoraal Ja. Come on, let's get out of here.
This bitch straight up air comboed and then did a mid-air jump. She double jumped.
That's also a function of the regulator? I think I understand now how Zoraal Ja was able to return from the dead and defeat Papa, but I'm not sure what we saw at the end there. As soon as the regulator turned red, it was as if you were possessed. Your movements became beast-like. Don't tell me. You empowered yourself with the soul of a beast. I'm reminded of the serpentine soldier we encountered at Vanguard who did the same. So you've crossed paths with one of the king's elite. Such a form can only be achieved from gorging yourself on souls. We could do the same in theory, but it's incredibly dangerous. Besides, it's not as if they'd allow hunters to carry that many souls to begin with. Well, I should be getting back to work. Take care. And there you have it. Regulators can be loaded with two kinds of souls, those of peoples and those of beasts. The souls of people can be used to grant the user preternatural strength. Naturally, they can also be used to ensure no one suffers an untimely death. And what about the souls of beasts? They work much in the same fashion, imbuing you with the strength of the chosen animal. If, for example, you use the soul of a wolf, you'd grow more agile and feral, as you saw with Striker. Using several of the same type at once, however, would result in physical changes. Your teeth might become fangs, your nails claws. Too many, and you'll become more beast than man. Changing one's form through the souls of other beings. It becomes more and more reminiscent of Void Scent. Yet unlike the Void, where the cycle of death and rebirth is simply broken, souls here are forcibly taken before they might reach the ethereal sea. Different means to achieve similar ends. A cycle to which all within the dome are bound. This is wrong. This is all wrong. It is indeed hard to accept, being so far removed from our own beliefs. Perhaps more shocking is that the technology to achieve all this was developed hundreds of years ago. The civilizations in the reflection are surprising indeed.
So if you turn into a wolf, you become more agile. If you use the soul of a bear, you become stronger. And if you use the soul of a bat, you become rich and beat up people doing drug deals. While we all have our thoughts on souls, for now the important thing is we know what powers Zoraal Ja has at his disposal. It's one thing to separate corporeal ether from incorporeal ether, but to strip memories from the soul entirely is unprecedented technology. This is no longer only Tuliola's concern. With his newfound power, Zoraal Ja has become a real threat to the entire world. Indeed, he has to be stopped no matter the cost. If you use the soul of a bear, women are more willing to hang out with you than a man. That's a good point. That's a very good point. And if you use the soul of a bear, a lot of men are a lot more willing to hang out with you. You're picking up what I'm putting down. You're buying what I'm selling. You're scratching what I'm sniffing. It's a gay joke. Anyways, I trust you've gained an insight into the use of souls in Alexandria. It's shocking, I know. I was overwhelmed myself at first. I expect you'll need some time to digest it all, but for now let's head back to Earth and Sky. At this rate,
There's something I want to discuss with everyone. Let's take a moment before we head into the tunnel. I'm sorry for all the yawning, y'all. I really am. I hate when I'm just, like, consistently yawning. Especially because I'm not, like, dog, tired, exhausted. It just, for some reason, it keeps happening. Like, now it's become a chain. I'm sorry for delaying us, but I have some thoughts I need to share. In both technology and values, it's plain there's a wide gulf between Tuliolal and Alexandria. And while Zoralja knows everything about us, we know hardly anything about what he's become. Indeed, we haven't even seen what lies within that enormous tower. Everkeep. So here I'd like to make a proposal. That is, we work with Kachua and her people. We need to learn as much as we can about the enemy. The quickest way would be to join hands with Oblivion. We've only just met them, I know, and we shouldn't be too quick to trust, but the fact remains that they share our desire to stop Zoralja. Sphene, too, claims to be at odds with the King of Resolve. May I ask why you would cooperate with Oblivion instead? It's simple, really. Their leader is Erenville's mother. Meanwhile, whatever Sphene may feel, she's a ruler of this nation. There's a greater risk in working with her, and less reason to take her at her word. A fair point. And knowing Zoralja, we must assume that his arrangement with Sphene was not made without some consideration. All I know is that it would be heartening to have allies in this strange realm. I think everyone would agree that any help we can get would be welcome. Hold on. There's no guarantee that it's actually my mother behind the machine. Without seeing her in the flesh, we can't rule out the possibility of a ploy. If it turns out to be a trap, we endanger not only ourselves, but everyone in Tuliolal. As you say, we have no proof that it really is Kachua. But I make my proposal in full awareness of this. Whether we're going to war or striving for peace, we need to learn as much as we can. Otherwise, we can't hope to do anything meaningful. As it stands, we know too little about this realm. We need to remedy that. We need to study the enemy, and when the time comes, strike down Zoralja for good and all. What's more, I trust you, Erenville. You've always had great instincts, honed from your time training under your mother. What if I'm wrong? What if sentiment is clouding my judgment? I trust you as well. That's always the way of it with you. Fine. If you're set on this, then I'll say no more. I watched... hold on. Then it's settled. Let's head inside and secure ourselves some new allies. I watched a male comedian draw on a whiteboard why mathematically and statistically it's better that you encounter a bear over a man. And one of my favorite points of his was, there's only like 4 types of bears. And since we said woods, polar bears are automatically off the table. So our odds immediately went to 75%. That's a good point. Statistically, that's a good point. I'm just saying. My guy, he knows his numbers. Now, to be fair, that's a good point in the same way that Scott Steiner's math at Sacrifice was a good point. Which is to say, it's easy to do the math well when you're just making shit up. But that's fine. Kachua, there's something I need to tell you and your people. We came here for no other reason than to strike down Zoralja. But I thought he was your brother. You really mean to kill your own kin? My kin invaded our nation and murdered our people. As vow of resolve, it falls to me to bring him to account. I'm prepared to do what I must, and I won't hesitate when the time comes. Like us, you and yours oppose Zoral Ja. In light of this, I propose that we work together to stop him once and for all. I really feel like this face is a reference to the new from Chrono Trigger, especially because of her being blue. Like that. I just feel like it's a reference to that. I realize that this is sudden, that it's a gamble to trust somebody you've only just met. But I would trust in the conviction of anyone who shares my goal. So fight with me, I beg you. Bears are scary in general, and I'm glad God hates panda bears, because they could be scary too. True story. As you say, our goals align, and I don't doubt your resolve in the least. If you hadn't proposed working together, I would have done so instead. Truth be told, it's been tough going at it alone. While we've gathered ample intelligence, we don't have the strength to take decisive action. Besides, how could we not trust you? My only son is with you, my fussy little bun-bun. He's all the reason I need. Then it's decided. Here's to a fruitful collaboration. Thank you, Kachua. Everyone, together we'll achieve great things, I'm sure of it. Then let's not waste any time. We've been wondering about Zoral Ja's whereabouts. Is there a palace inside that tower? After a fashion. King resides on the uppermost level, while Queen's Fiend has a penchant for going out in public. He seldom shows himself. What's more, his movements are highly classified. Not even his commanders are privy to that information. If anyone knows where he is at any given time, it could only be the Queen. Even if we don't know his whereabouts, Zoral Ja will eventually march on Tuliolal again. That's when we can go after him. The drawback is we'd have to wait for the invasion to happen. Innocents would be put in harm's way. There's also the possibility that he'll leave everything to his minions and not command the army in person. I do adore how Kachua insists on calling him her fussy little bun-bun. Yes! Like, she doesn't have to do that. No, he'll take the field. What makes you so certain? My brother has always yearned to surpass her father. That's why he attacked Tuliolal. After waiting for 30 years, the first thing he wanted to do was demonstrate his newfound strength. But killing Papa didn't satisfy him, so now he's bent on proving himself stronger than me and Kona, who bested him in the right of succession. He's challenged me to strike him down. He wants a duel to show everyone that he's superior to the Dawn Servant, and he won't let his minions deprive him of the pleasure. Then why hasn't he appeared and given you your chance? Surely he's aware of our presence here. At that, I can only guess. Perhaps he wants to dazzle us with his wondrous realm. But if he won't deign to appear, then we'll force him to do so. And how are we going to do that? Even as we gather intelligence, we make no move to attack him. Show absolutely no interest in a confrontation. Knowing him, he'll tired of waiting and turn his attention to Kona instead. He'll attack Tuliolal again, like he said he would. I see. If you believe this is the best approach, then we have no objections. Any campaign against Tuliolal requires that Zoral Ja leads his forces through Vanguard. He'll have lookouts keep an eye on it day and night. Such a strategy is certainly viable. If we're proceeding with it, though, we should warn those outside. Indeed, they'll need time to prepare their defenses. I should be glad to coordinate our efforts. I'm already in regular contact with Y'shtola, and we'll make sure to keep our comrades apprised of developments. You can leave Vanguard to us. We'll send word at the first sign of movement. It seems we have a plan. While we wait for Zoral Ja to move, you do well to prepare for battle, and it begins with familiarizing yourselves with the technology that empowers him. To that end, I'll show you to Oblivion's main headquarters. Oh, I thought this place was it. You'll be impressed to know that we're located right inside that tower, in the residential district of Solution 9. Hiding a tree in the forest, as it were. The only question is how to get you through the checkpoint. About that, Sphene said she'd make it so we could enter without issue. She did? Curious. She's not supposed to have such authority over the sentries. If I recall correctly, her words were that she would register us as guests. I see. Perhaps we're in the clear then. When you're ready, come and meet me at the tower entrance. Before you head out, give us a moment to introduce ourselves properly, huh? After all, names are good to know when working together. While Oblivion has operatives all over, we're the main crew here. I'm Geode, leader of this hideout, and the dependable young twins behind me are Nostalgia and Wayakwe. I'm Nostalgia. It's a pleasure to meet you. My sister and I were born and raised inside the barrier. We've been with Oblivion for 3 years, and our main duties are surveillance and provisioning. Twins, eh? That explains the resemblance. Wayakwe is a Tonowautan name, unless I'm mistaken. That's right. Our mother is Tuliolan and our father is Alexandrian. They wanted to honor both cultures. They're beautiful names. Thank you. Though I have no memories of my mother, I like to think I carry a part of her with me. So, what made you decide to join Oblivion? We get cool guns. We wanted to avenge our father. Ambrose was his name, and years ago he was taken away after a scuffle with a soldier over a disagreement. It was a minor incident, so at first we clung to the hope that he'd be released. But when months went by with no word from or about him, we made the decision to remove our regulators. We had already lost the memories of our mother. We didn't want to lose those of our father as well. They've all forgotten about him now, everyone who had known him. That bastard! Even here he thinks nothing of his own people! Sometime later, we were approached by a member of Oblivion. Hoping to get justice for our father, we joined the Order. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to darken the mood. No. I appreciate you sharing this. Together we'll avenge your father. Thank you. Something tells me you have what it takes. You introduce yourself too. Go on. It's pretty much the same story for me. And while mine is a Tonowautan name, I haven't the faintest how things are outside the barrier. It's my dream to go and see it with my own eyes. Our mother's homeland. Once peace is restored, you must come and visit. The wilds are beautiful, the food delicious, and everyone's so nice. You'll love it. And that's us here. You'll meet others in the back room. That's our headquarters. Some of them are a little eccentric, but they have good hearts, all. Ellen Eshbia, one last thing. It isn't exactly my place to say this, but thank you for seeking out Kakua. She talks about you so much, it's clear how important you are to her. That's all. Be good to your mother while you still can, eh? Well, we'll let you go now. Feel free to use this hideout as you like. Oh, cutscene somewhere else. Meanwhile, I'll never keep. What's going down in Dogtown? Damn, even in the future, server management is brutal.
You've been consorting with Wuk Lamat.
Okay.
No matter. I do not know what you are scheming. But when your realm lay on the brink, you were powerless. You had no choice but to turn to me. Whatever sentiment you may feel for her, it is my power you require. Is it not?
Perhaps. And yet, knowing the love that Wuglamart bears for her people, how she regards them all as kin, I cannot help but wish to spare her the same pain I have suffered.
Okay.
What's more, Her friends possess new knowledge. Were we to work together, we might find another path. I know you're loath to consider it, but is there no hope for peace with Tural? What we've already done may be unforgivable, but it needn't continue. You needn't kill your brother and sister.
I slew my only flesh and blood. Yet you attempt to sway me with an appeal to family.
That's a good point.
The memory of my father's final moments still fills me with disappointment. Age came for him before I did. For long years, I sought to prove the miracle. And weak as he was, defeating him achieved nothing.
He knows. Which is why he's
Kill
pissed.
them is my only recourse. Wuklamat and Kona, who bested him as he was in his prime.
He knows if he took on Galul
They are
Jaja
still
at
your
his
siblings,
peak, even
if
with
not
his
by blood. That such bonds should mean so little.
even
to you.
juiced up on the scoops like he is, he would still get
am bound
waxed.
To no one. Serve none save myself. I made that clear when first you spoke to me in the Golden City. Remember, I can easily kill your beloved family. If you would protect them, cast aside any foolish notions. Your wisdom and abilities are valuable insofar as our goals align. So think well before you act, Queen of Reason. Uklamat, if you are father's worthy successor, then you will find your way to me. But should you fall short, I will lay waste to Tuli Yolal.
I really want to beat his ass. But yeah, I think he realizes prime Galul Jaja was a fucking problem. And would have sent his ass packing.
Right. Kakua's waiting. Let's head to the tower.
I do love this FF9 remix they got going on in there. That it's a good track. Honestly, the Head of Reason were still alive. Galul Jaja could very well have just incinerated Zal. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you literally dealt with that man with one head tied behind his back. Like, they have spent this whole story pointing out how, however strong you think he is, he was stronger. The Warrior of Light barely kept up with him in that point, and we've seen the incredible superhuman feats the Warrior of Light has done. Ah, there you are. Low key, by the way, let me just say this. Low key, one of the best tracks in all of Final Fantasy IX does not get even a fraction of the love it deserves. Okay? Which is Mount Gulug, which is a reference to Gulug Volcano, which is a reference to to Final Fantasy 1, actually. If you're curious what, like, in FF1, when you go take on Merilith, you go to Mount Gulag. And the music there is... Well, this is an ad. But the music there is... Yeah. But the FF9 remix of Mount Gulag is just, it's fucking quality. Just quality. Wish me luck that my 89 mods I put on Skyrim don't crash to shit and back. That is the Skyrim experience in a nutshell. Ah, there you are. There's so many songs I'd rather hear in FF9 than Gulag Volcano. I didn't say it was the best song. I said it was low-key. One of the best songs. And that's because it's just such a well-done song. I don't think it's the best by any means, but it is one of my favorites on the track. I mean, on the soundtrack, I should say. If Queen Sphene has registered you as guests, you should be able to march right in. And if she hasn't, then you may have a swarm of Sir Alja's minions to deal with. Kinda wouldn't mind. Nothing for it but to see if Sphene has betrayed us, eh? Don't worry, I got 2 swords and futuristic J's. Nothing to worry about. Like, he's wearing some Jordan 19s. Thank you for your diligent service, friends. My companions and I would like to pass, if you'd be so kind. Outrunner guide unit identified. Registration number verified. 6 accompanying civilians identified. Verifying credentials. Credentials verified. Welcome, guests of Queen Sphene. What a relief. There you have it. Seems the Queen was true to her word. Follow me, everyone. Solution 9 awaits. Are we already able to get a Quechua minion? Or do you think they're going to lay that out down the line? Because at some point, it's either already available or it's fucking guaranteed. Like, write that shit in pen. Gonna be a thing. If it's not already a thing. Boots, boots, boots. Space Jays.
Everkeep. A tower of electrope piercing a perpetual shroud of storm clouds. Occupying the 9th level of this 12-tiered structure is a residential district called Solution 9. In so naming their home, what hopes did its founders harbor for it? And did it prove the answer they sought?
Spectacular, isn't it? There are more districts throughout the tower, including industrial ones, but Solution 9 is the largest.
The military one is called Grand Lethal.
Just being here makes my head spin.
That's an FF9 joke.
Perfectly natural reaction. A city of shimmering electrope, replete with strange technologies that cater to every conceivable need. We never dreamed of the light back home in Tural. Now, while I go and explain the situation to those in the back room, why not take a moment to explore? I believe lived experiences are far more educational than dry explanation.
I agree with her, actually.
And you want to know more about Sphene and Zoralja's dominion, do you not?
You had me at explore.
I had a feeling you'd be keen.
Just to confirm, while we have been allowed inside, are we also permitted to roam?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm in the Mad Max slash
You'll find your exact
future
process
gear
scrutiny.
stage. So from the waist up, I'm Mad Max, and from the waist down, I'm in an Adidas tracksuit
But
with
other
some
areas
fresh
will be
new
fine,
J's.
provided you act like you belong.
All right then, we'll show ourselves around.
Yes. Familiarizing ourselves with the technology here will help us prepare for the battles to come.
But
Try not to enjoy yourselves too much, or you're liable to attract attention.
you could just be honest.
Once
We
you've
wanna see
explored
cool
to your
shit.
satisfaction, come to the entrance to True View in the eastern sector. The way from there is a little complicated, so I'll send someone to guide you.
Understood. We'll see you later.
I shall speak with the residents. Perhaps one of them will recognize the earring.
I'm gonna look up a list. I wanna see who's got, like, what are the best, what are the move names I'm not remembering? Because all of them were
This
good.
place. How can this all be the inside of a tower?
So, what aren't you telling me? Where are you?
That I can't reveal yet. Precautions, you understand. Just know that I'm safe. But come, tell me about your adventurer friend. You seem to have a great deal of faith in him. You must have been through a lot together.
You might say that. For instance, we found the entrance to the Golden City.
Wait, what? You did? Elnashpir, why didn't you mention this sooner?
A mount.
You want to explore together? It's not that I'm scared or anything. Everything is just so different from home is all.
Caracal. Are you saying that your reward for getting all level 100 fighters is you get to ride Erenville's mom? It's not technically Erenville's mom. Close enough! How do I... It's one of those monitors. I stand behind my statement.
Towers inside a tower. I see it, but I still can't believe it. For now, I say we proceed straight ahead. If we feel like we're getting lost, we can always turn around and go back the way we came.
This place is freaking cool, though.
Crossroads already? This place is too much. I have no idea where I should go. Right, I made up my mind. Let's head to that building there.
Sure. But they, you know, arbitrarily had us have us get over here so that we can interact with the Aetheryte first. I'm not mad about it. How does this work? If I step on that, will it send me up to the other places? I'm sure it will. Here's what I'm gonna do. Just to make it easier. I'll hit that sprint when I get up there. Woo! Oh, shit! I just fucking blipped from existence. Like Geordie LaForge was on it. Also, what do you mean by getting all level 100 fighters? I've been trying to parse in my brain what that means, and I just got nothing. All drop. Got it. Got it. Got it. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's not happening anytime soon for me. Combat jobs. Got it. Like the Amaro and Shadowbringers, which is all jobs level 80. Honestly, with the time I'll be having in the near future, especially while I'm still recording, streaming through challenge runs, I might have time for it. Okay. So we sprint, come over here, hit the 3 that I need to. Then on the last one, I warp right there. I come around, I grab that one, and then I grab that one. And then I will have them all tagged before approaching Wuk-Lamat. Which will mean anywhere we have to go, I can just boop if it's faster. Also of note, that doesn't update to include the new job, so the Amaro doesn't need level 80 for Sage or Reaper. Oh, that's cool. Oh look, it's a Cybertruck. Seems Elon is still very popular in the modern day. Also, I saw a video, someone actually modded a Cybertruck into Cruisin' USA, and truly they're doing God's work. I cannot get that motorcycle mount right now, because I have 4.5 million gil, and I'm therefore 17.5 million gil in debt. So, Gonna be a minute before I'm buying any fucking motorcycle. Besides, I have a motorcycle. Thanks to Shan. I do like this track. The 808s don't hurt. Magnanimous soul that I am, at least I'm not charging interest. That's because I'll be in debt forever. Oh, speaking of motorcycles. I'm trying to remember what I was watching. That someone was doing some yoga or something, but the way they were twisting their knees around, they said, and I quote, nah, I couldn't do that shit. My knees would sound like if you tried microwaving bullets. And it was truly one of the greatest sentences I've ever read. Honestly, if I were really smart while I was running around like this, I would change to, like, Machinist, so I could click that one lesser speed boost besides Sprint that they have. But that would imply I'm a smarter man than I am. Sweet. Sweet. I got tired of the main road. No! What? There we go. That's my target. Wind up Titan. Tune yourself to everything. Yeah, cool. Sweet. Now I can do whatever the fuck I want. Was that efficient? I don't know. Did I do it anyways? Yes.
Ah! There you are! Lamati!
Oh, what up, girl?
Sphene!
I was worried you might have had trouble at the checkpoint, but I see everything went according to
Yep,
plan.
this is Alexandria, all right.
Well, that's thanks to you.
Now, I know you've scarcely arrived, but I have a request to make of you.
I have 9 personal guardians, known as the Knights of Pluto. Could you find them all for me?
Oh, a request, you say?
Yes, an important one.
It's me doing my Steiner impression.
I'll say it plain. I want you to make peace with Zoraljah.
What? I thought you said you weren't on his side.
Well, about that.
We have come no closer to seeing eye to eye, nor do I condone his methods. Be that as it may, I don't want you to fight him. I don't want you to regret a decision made in anger and haste. Unequipped with regulators as you are, the risk is too
I'm being
great.
real. I do get the vibe that she genuinely just doesn't want anyone to get hurt. She's just a bit naive.
The impossible. Zoraljah murdered our father. His minions slaughtered our countrymen. He will never renounce his war. As vow of resolve, it falls to me to stop him. I know you love your people too. And so you must understand how I feel. Why I cannot, will not back down.
I do
Just casually
understand
walking by in a jacket and tank
all
top.
too well. Let me say only this then. Zoraljah will use any means to win. If you would protect your people, return to them at once and prepare. Prepare as best you can. It may ring hollow coming from the queen of an enemy nation. But unlike me, you still have the power to determine your own fate.
You really are a curious one. Look, you needn't worry for us. We have dependable comrades holding the fort in Tulihyolal. They'll keep everyone safe, so we can devote our attention to affairs here.
Please.
Never fear. I'll be there alongside her.
So you have comrades on whom you can rely. I envy you.
You know, we'd like to learn more about you.
About me?
To be frank, we're still not sure whether or not you're trustworthy. So, if you have a moment, would you show us around the district? That way, we can get to know you better.
You're asking me, the Queen, to show you around?
Okay.
Oh, but I jest. I'm flattered that you've taken an interest in me. Very well. I shall be your guide. You're my guests, after all, and teaching you about my realm would be a pleasure in and of itself. If you like, I can introduce you to my citizens, too. I consider them family, as you do yours.
So Zoraljah's threat to her about her family
By all
is
means, we're in your
killing her
capable
people.
hands.
Good.
That you are. This will be an enjoyable and enlightening tour. I promise.
Bah. Nailed it. Are you offering me cheese? I'd love some. Let's begin then, shall we? I must say I'm really grateful. This place is so vast and confusing, I don't even know where to begin. While the district may seem daunting in size and structure, all the key facilities are situated near ley nodes, what you call etherites. Remember this and you won't lose your way. Now then, seeing as it is right here, I will show you the Nexus Arcade first. Please follow me. This is the Nexus Arcade. Here is where we throw down in Street Fighter 2 and Tekken. But don't be coming in here with that weak shit if you're trying to play Dalsim and play footsie with me. Pick a real fighter. This complex is home to all matter of shops. From food and daily necessities to technological conveniences, you can find most everything here. Everkeep's interiors vast, as you've observed. This arcade makes it possible for people to acquire what they need in one centralized location. For instance, if you have any tomestones of poetics, which I don't know why you would, but if you did, you might be able to find some armor here. Amazing! How do you get to the upper levels? I don't see stairs. Do you see the glowing pattern over yonder? That is an automatic conveyor. Such contraptions are found throughout Everkeep, allowing us to swiftly move between faraway places. That will spare us some walking. Are they also made from that strange metal? What's it? Yes, the conveyors are powered by electrope. As a matter of fact, the ore is integrated into just about everything in Everkeep, even the floors and walls. By etching arcane circuits upon it, electrope can be used to convert lightning energy to those of other elements. In so doing, we can achieve various effects. For instance, a conversion to wind produces flotation, which is required for the propulsion of our flying vehicles. A conversion to fire, meanwhile, produces light and heat, and it is employed in devices such as street lamps and heaters. There are even self-heating cups that keep your drink warm. Can you make a drink cold if you convert to ice instead? You certainly can. Our vending machines do just that. What's more, multiple energies can also be combined to produce some clever effects. For instance, by manipulating the air with wind while projecting light with lightning, it's possible to alter one's appearance. It's almost scary what you can do with electrope. If such a wondrous material exists in our world, I imagine everyone would be fighting over it. Ah! This shop over here, what does it sell? Ah yes, let's go and take a look. I dare say you will find it interesting. I love when Soken just hits the silly sounds button on his Moog and says, let me record some shit. It's like, that motherfucker playing the silly sounds button. Ganister. This shop sells food. Those are the items on the counter. That's food? I can't imagine what they taste like. I thought you might be surprised. Your countrymen were too in the beginning. Come, you must sample something. Choose one and I will purchase it. Welcome, friends. How lucky you are for Her Majesty to treat you. The 5 items on display are our most popular. I'd recommend one of them if this is your first time. Select an item that interests you. These are medical supplies, to be clear. I'm going to grab these because they're similar to the squapes. The synthetic fruit pellets, they're our best approximation of the taste and texture. I was fucking kidding! I was kidding! It was a joke! I've never tried the fruit, so I can't say how faithful they are, but there's no denying their popularity. Sure. Let me try the hexapes. Wow, they're all very tempting. I'm going to have the steak. I'm absolutely starving. Yoshi P looked at us and said, "Fuck you!" And I'll do squapes again. Fuck you gonna say about it? Thank you for your custom. This being Her Majesty's treat, it's bound to taste all the better. Say, would you mind sampling your selections here and now? It's been a long time since we had newcomers, and I'd love to see your reactions. Alright. Sure, we'll sample it in front of the 4 generic NPCs from Phantasy Star Online 2. This is a great chance to learn about Alexandrian culture, Anoriand. Let's dig in. All right, here I go. Following Wooglamat's lead, you sample your selection. Amazing! I've never had any meat like this before. It's tender like chicken, but flavorsome like Ronique, and the spices give it just the right amount of kick. I could eat this every day. Tell me they don't look like they belong in Phantasy Star Online on the GameCube. Don't mind them. They're just happy to see your honest reaction. And how about you? I'll say it's fantastic. It's fantastic! I have to keep the legacy of Squapes alive. It's always such a pleasure. My thanks for humoring me. This does take me back. Though it was chaotic when the people of Tural first arrived, we endeavored to learn about one another and embraced our differences. Alright, what about you, Sphene? Aren't you having something to eat too? I appreciate the thought, but I'm fine for now, thank you. Alright, but what's your favorite food, if you don't mind me asking? My favorite food? Why do you wish to know this? Because I want to get to know you better. Why else? The more you know someone, the more you grow fond of them. That's what my old man believed, and my experiences have led me to believe the same. My favorite food. Is it such a difficult question? I'm sorry, it's just, when I think of those who labor to bring us the food, I find I can't settle on one thing. I thought I was indecisive, but you're something else. Indecisive? Perhaps I am, but you didn't need to laugh about it. Oh, what's your fucking deal, Lizzie McGee? I don't know about you, but I'm satisfied. Let's keep moving. Very well. Next I was thinking of showing you the residential sector, but it's in part so I can tend to personal matters. It's a visitation to be precise, and I believe it'll be educational for you as well. Would the two of you mind accompanying me? Not at all. Wonderful. Let me know when you have seen enough here and we'll make our way. Yeah, cool. Ready? Then let's head to the residential sector. It lies southwest. As we walk, I'll be glad to tell you about any place of interest that we come upon. Yeah, they're following me. Which means I can't just warp straight there. As nice as that would be, I have to actually, like, do the thing. I don't have to, but I'm choosing to. No, I do have to. Never mind. No, I know I can warp. I'm saying that because I would then miss out on, like, dialogue. But in this case, I can't because literal quest markers are along the way. So that's why when I'm saying I can't, it's less I can't because I physically can't, and more I can't because, like, damn it, I want to see the dialogue anyways.
This is Mosaic, a cafe. Here you can buy drinks to enjoy while you relax. I see. In Tuliolal, there's a similar establishment called Shabaliev Taye. That's seashell in the local tongue. Is there a story behind the name Mosaic? There is. In our continent, the race is a name for stones. There's the hewn, who resembles some Tonawauta, the tall and graceful Eldite, and the diminutive and affable Milala. They should have hung a lamp on it and said, and the diminutive and... Hold on, what's her name? And the diminutive but not kind Taru Taru. Like, just gone all the way. Especially because they're bringing in Vanadiel in this fucking expansion. When they all gather here, there appears a mosaic of colors. Thus did the founder choose to name the cafe. That's nice. If they serve tacos here, it'd be perfect. Tacos? A traditional Turali dish and one of my favorite foods. You must try it one day. Oh, yes, definitely. We'll make it happen once we've restored peace to Tulialal. Right, let's continue on. Yeah, yeah, they should have just gone and be like, the Humes, the Elvan, the Taru Taru. Just to see who picks up on it. And here we are. These buildings are where our citizens live. They're massive! Each one is bigger than the palace. They have to be, for just about all Alexandrians have apartments here. Lest you wonder, I'm here to visit some people. Their apartment is in the building on the left here at Residential Radius 914. Residential Radius? That's right. Come, the door opens automatically.
Ask about the lobby.
This is the lobby, a common area for residents. I see. And what does that machine there do? Ah, the concierge. They look after the residents. If you require assistance or have questions, they'll be glad to assist. Is that so? I have no shortage of questions, but I'll direct them at you for now. By all means, you may consider me your personal concierge. Do they say the same thing when I ask you, hey, Sveen, can anyone live in this place? Naturally. In fact, many of your countrymen make their homes here. No matter your origin or race, occupation or regulator usage, all Alexandrian citizens are eligible for an apartment. This includes those whom you met who work on the outskirts. You've taken care of everyone for 30 years. I'm truly grateful. Hey, would you look at that? Final Fantasy XIV understands that housing is a right, not a privilege. This is the place. A mother and son live here. Hello, Isadora. Your Majesty, you came. I have friends with me today. Is that all right? Of course. Friends of the Queen are friends of ours. Please make yourselves at home.
Okay.
How has Milos been? There's been no change, but the symptoms are thankfully mild today. Hello, Milos. Have you missed me? My son was born with Levin sickness, a severe etheric imbalance towards lightning. As a result, he suffers from paralysis. He cannot walk and struggles to speak. For a blessing, he still has his hearing, and even on bad days, he can communicate with his eyes. I see. Sphene visits often, does she? She does. Milos simply adores her. He sometimes even manages a smile when she's here. Huh. What of yourself, Isadora? How are you holding up? You needn't worry about me, Your Majesty. You always make time for us, and we have everything we need. Gay. Positive, but gay. I'm glad to hear that, but you mustn't strain yourself, understood? There's nothing you can do for him? Perhaps a treatment with souls, or... Unfortunately, no. While souls can revive those who have met with an accident, they cannot reverse the effects of old age and illness. Truth be told, many children are born like Milos. The illness has existed for generations, but we've been unable to find a cure. The cause is quite clear, though. The excess lightning in the environment. It's no coincidence the number of cases has risen dramatically these past 30 years. Oh shit, that is... Alright. It's all my fault. What was that? I'm sorry, Isadora, but I must be going. I promise to make it a proper visit next time, with treats to share. There's no need to apologize, Your Majesty. If it weren't for you, Milos and I wouldn't still be here. Thank you, Queen Sphene. It's my pleasure, Milos. I'll be back soon, so be a good boy, for your mother and for me.
Okay, I really want Sphene to not be a problem.
My thanks for accompanying me on the visit. The illness is a part of life in Alexandria, and I thought you should know about it. We'll find a cure one day, mark my words. We'll make it so unfortunate children like Milos smile again. Well, let's continue the tour, shall we? Look, you obviously have duties to attend to, citizens to look after. We can stop here if you like. No. I do this because I want to, so please do not worry. Next, I'll show you one of the district's most vital facilities, a place called Resolution. To reach it, we need to go by way of Node 9, where the Aetheryte is situated.
Okay. Before I check that, I wanted to see here. FF9, Zidane. Zidane Tribal. Okay, do you have a list of his move names? I was trying to, like... Okay, here we go. Yeah, when he turns to Dine, that's it. His list of attacks, they're basically all great names. He starts with Free Energy and Tidal Flame. And along the way, he learns Scoop Art, Shift Break, Stellar Circle 5, Mio Twister, Solution 9, and then his biggest move is Grand Lethal. It's so fucking cool. It took me this X-Pack that you can even ride your mount when being followed. Really, Caracal? You were swindled and hornswoggled. Also, I forgot to interact with... I guess the forecast terminal, technically. Okay. Alright, Sphene. Where to now? The conveyor ahead will transport you to the government sector, where Resolution is located. The markings on a conveyor indicate its direction, and there's a pair just like it on the other side. Is it safe? Extremely. There's no need to be afraid. Who said I was afraid? Come on, Anoriand. In her defense, she is very curious, which is dangerous for her. Because curiosity killed the cat. Also, I learned 2 days ago that sleep/repose can be used as an interrupt. It's fair. Normally, things are interrupted if they fall asleep in the middle of nowhere. But, you know, not a lot of things do fall asleep in the middle of nowhere, so that's also fair. And here we are, Resolution, the operational heart of Solution 9. From Resolution, we oversee the running of the district and provide essential services to citizens, such as welfare support and job introductions. It's quicker to show than tell, so let's proceed inside. Okay, so they have... I'm not saying that maybe it's worth putting up with, you know, lightning sickness and shit, but they do have a beautiful social welfare net, job services placement programs, and a housing is a guaranteed right. I'm just saying sometimes you do have to crack a few eggs if you want to make an omelet.
Strange contraptions everywhere you look. What's that?
An infusion station. It dispenses souls in exchange for credits. Through hard work, citizens can obtain the peace of mind provided by spare souls. It's the way of life for Alexandrians and has been for quite some time. But I imagine it must be difficult for outsiders to comprehend.
That's putting it lightly. To be honest, it sounds disturbing. Still, I won't dismiss it out of hand. Practices like these don't arise from nothing.
Correct.
There's a reason why your culture is the way it is, and I'd like to understand. Won't you tell us some of your realm's history?
I'm keen to learn too.
Very well. Be warned, though, that it may take a while. In the distant past, over 1,000 years ago, it's said, lightning energy began to swell in our world. According to ancient records that date back around 8 centuries, the rainy season spanned a quarter of the year, during which time severe thunderstorms ravaged the land. 4 centuries later, this season had lengthened to nearly half the year. The trend continued, with our ancestors spending longer and longer languishing beneath storm clouds. Crops failed and livestock starved. But amidst this growing desperation, a miraculous material was discovered that promised salvation: electrope.
The stuff that's used everywhere here.
Indeed. One day, when out inspecting a forest after lightning had caused a fire, a villager came upon a curious black ore none had seen before. Testing revealed that the ore possessed a singular property. It could store lightning and convert it to other energies. In that instant, the scourge of endless storms became a blessing. Dubbed Electrope, the ore found use in myriad inventions and dramatically improved people's lives. So much so, in fact, that all nations soon became dependent upon it, despite the difficulty of obtaining it in quantity.
Which is why when she said...
Supply was chronically scarce, and when nations couldn't meet their needs with their own deposits, some resorted to taking Electrope from others.
Remember when she just said people would fight over it?
Fighting was isolated and
did.
sporadic, until Electrope came to be used in warfare. First in the weaponry of invaders, then in the countermeasures of defenders, and then in every aspect of combat where an advantage might be had. This served only to exacerbate the ore shortage, leading to further escalation.
War
Before
never
long,
changes.
the entire world was engulfed in a terrible war known as the Storm Surge. As the war came to a head, Alexandria's neighbor, Lindblum, committed its stores of Electrope to the production of a weapon of mass destruction.
I like
They
the use of
deployed it on the
Lindblum
front
here.
lines and triggered a calamity of frightful magnitude. Not even their own scientists had anticipated the force of the lightning that was unleashed. The energy inundated the entire continent, laying it to waste.
So that's how your world came to be this way.
It's almost like the power of a mega flare being unleashed. I'm putting in mind of the flood of light.
You truly know a great many things that I don't. I should like to learn about you too sometime. But to continue the tale, the people of Alexandria had already lost much to the war. They lost almost everything else to the Levin. Those who survived bore deep scars, tormented by the memory of loved ones taken too soon. Though they yet lived, the cruel specter of death was with them always.
Yeah, that's the thing about war.
Seeking a solution, our scientists turned once more to Electrope, and after
Sorry.
they developed the means to preserve memory and soul. Physical death isn't the end. So long as our memories endure,
Did I send this to you? It's
we may
Wuko's
live
voice
on.
actor talking about cilantro.
This belief sustained
No,
us then,
but now I
and
want to hear it.
sustains us now, granting us comfort.
I have many thoughts about cilantro,
That's quite a tale.
and I'm curious what her thoughts are.
Your Majesty, help me! I beg you, help me!
I'm gonna play this out first, and then I'll check it out.
What's the matter?
I've got no souls left. Not a single one! But the lot at Soul Supply refused to give me any! Please, you must do something!
My apologies, Your Majesty. This man, he does no work. Instead, he drinks his days away on Trueview. He has only himself to blame if he has no credits for souls.
That's not true! I'm a fighter at the Arcadian. Or rather, I was. I haven't been allowed to fight because of the King's decree. It isn't my choice.
I see. You're a brave warrior of the arena.
Why did the king have that decree, though?
I want to help you, I sincerely do. But I cannot give you preferential treatment.
Then open up the Arcadian again, so I can fight!
I'm sorry, but that's not my decision to make. The king requires feral souls for war. He doesn't wish for them to be expended on amusements.
You're useless! A queen in naught but name!
Oof.
Insolent wretch! How dare you take that tone with Her Majesty?
It's quite all right. Such things don't bother me, nor do I think ill of this man. Hear me. Though I cannot grant you a soul, I mean it when I say I want you to live. I love all of you equally, dearly. You are as family to me, and it pains me to see you deny yourself hope. I want you to find a happiness all your own, even if you must grow it from the smallest seed of joy. Out there, somewhere, is a reason for you to smile again. We all need to vent our frustrations from time to time. I will always be willing to lend an ear.
Yes, Mum. Of course. Even without a spare soul, I suppose I'm fine as long as I stay in Solution 9. I apologize for my rudeness. Good day to you.
You know, I gotta say, the spirit of Tetsuya Nomura is truly alive and well in these character designers.
Keep your chin up, my friend. And when you feel better, I'm sure you'll find another way to apply your talents.
What with all the fucking zippers?
I'm sorry you had to see that. Let's keep moving, shall we?
Alright. Nope, never mind. Still going.
Right. I believe we've visited all the main facilities. With that, I declare our tour concluded.
That man from before, does that sort of thing happen often?
Somewhat. It's unavoidable. Hardships are a fact of life.
Here's what I don't understand. Why do you need souls
Our
to just
soul
walk
management
around?
system has sustained our realm for generations, but it isn't without flaws.
I actually,
For
as
one,
much as
people
you
have
know,
become accustomed to having spare souls. Without them, they feel vulnerable and anxious.
what she just
Some
said.
claim it may also have contributed to a decline in births.
It's one of those things where if you get told, I'm going to give you a
Just
get out of
thinking
jail
out loud,
free
but
card.
Would it be possible to do away with the system?
I'm going to give you a get out of jail free card on being able to survive, because if you die, you'll come back. And then you run out of get out of jail free cards, you will become infinitely more paranoid about that. Like right now, we all live in a world where when you die, that's it, you're done. There's nothing left, you're gone. I'm not getting into the afterlife or anything. I'm saying literally like your time in this world. If you die, you don't come back. So we all live understanding that. How would everyone you know live if you knew you had a fucking pocket protector that would allow you to come back if you fucked up and did something stupid? Now, further extrapolate that out. How would everyone you know live if everyone, how would someone you know live if everyone around you had that pocket protector and you knew someone who used all of the lives in that pocket protector, and now if they die, they're dead? They now know full well how easy it is to die because they've done it multiple times, and they no longer have that get out of jail free card. It's gonna affect you. It's gonna get in your head. It's gonna completely mess with you. I actually do understand that plot point very much so.
No.
I know it isn't easy to change one's beliefs and way of life. The Mamolja had their reasons for their reliance on blessed siblings, much as you have yours for souls. But if we defeated Zorolja, you'd be able to make all the decisions, right? Then we could work together to fix things, restore your realm to where it belongs, and see where we can go from there.
Listen to me. There's something that I need to tell you.
Okay.
What is it?
Actually, never mind. It's nothing of import. Well, it was lovely showing you around.
Of course. Of course. Thanks so much for the tour. We've learned not only about your realm, but you as well. For now, our priority is Zorolja. But once we've dealt with him, perhaps I can return the favor and show you to Lihiola.
I'd like that very much.
What about a lobster? Lobsters don't gotta worry about it. They're immortal. And the thing we're talking about, yeah. Although that actually doesn't apply to the situation, because lobsters are immortal in terms of age. Which the spare soul system they have going on here doesn't have any bearing on old age or death of, like, illness or natural causes.
It seems I've no choice but to continue down this path.
It's about something like your heart stopping from blunt force trauma.
Forgive me, Val Wuklamart, but I must disappoint you.
Okay, but in what sense do you have to disappoint me? Well, disappoint her. And then, by definition, also disappoint me.
What was Fiend wanting to tell us, I wonder? Well, it can wait for another time. We've been exploring for a while now and should probably get back to Kashua's meeting point. That'll be back the way we came, I think.
Okay, now let me go ahead and listen to this. So my name is Susie, and y'all are making me do this.
Sometimes.
Okay, hold on.
It's okay to fall apart sometimes. Tacos fall apart, and we still love them too. Except for those ones that have cilantro in them. Look, I know what you're going to say. You just have a gene. That's why it tastes weird. It's a Southeast Asian herb in Mesoamerican cuisine. What is it doing there? There's already an herb you can use. It's called papalo, also known as quilquina, or Bolivian coriander. You can use that. It's delicious, and it doesn't taste like fucking soap. It's okay to fall apart sometimes.
She's right! She's fucking right! And she should say it! Because, god damn it, you are never going to convince me. So many people try to convince me, no. Cilantro's delicious on food. Like, cilantro's a great additive. No, the fuck it isn't. No, it isn't. And you could sit here and tell me that I've got a gene and that's what makes it taste like soap. Hey, here's the thing. If I told you I'm going to make a plate of food and 50% of people think it tastes like a cheeseburger, and 50% of people think it tastes like dog shit, a lot of people would say, hey, what if we just make something that is far more universally agreed upon? Okay? Don't sit here and try and convince me about how great it is when a huge percentage of people think that shit tastes like shit.
Sphene genuinely cares for her people. I can respect her for that. And thanks to her tour, I've come to better understand the lives of Alexandrians. They don't feel so strange and distant anymore.
Okay? I've never loved Wuk-Lamat more than that exact moment. She was spitting. Let me see this. Oh, we got a little technology going on. I'm good with that. What percentage of people have the cilantro gene? According to most research, between 4 to 14% of the population have a genetic variation, often linked to the OR6A2 gene that makes them perceive cilantro as having a soapy taste, essentially meaning they have the cilantro gene that causes aversion to the herb. Here's what I want you to understand right now. I want you to know where I'm coming from. Cilantro tastes bad to me. Cilantro does not taste like soap. It just tastes bad. People say it tastes like soap. It tastes nothing like soap to me. It just tastes bad. It tastes harsh and bitter. Okay? But let me go ahead and walk with you. It's between 4 to 14% according to this AI response. According to a 23andMe study, 14 to 21%. That's why. 14 to 21% of East Asian, African, and Caucasian ancestry dislike cilantro. In contrast, only 3 to 7% of those who identified as South Asian, Hispanic, or Middle Eastern disliked it. So 4 to 14%. Let's just go ahead and say 10%. No. That's exactly my point, Liana. But I want to get this. I want to get it here. So, we live in a world where there are people who just don't like it. There are people who just do like it. And also, speaking on what I'd consider a pretty fair average number to land on between that, 1 in every 10 people puts that shit in their mouth and thinks it tastes like Dial. Thinks it tastes like a Dove White Bar. 1 in 10. There are actively, right now, 13 of you watching me on Twitch alone specifically. Not getting into the YouTube part of it, just on Twitch. Okay? And not getting into anyone who watches the VOD. Actively, right now, on Twitch, there are 13 of you. That means 1 of you, and then another third of 1 of you, if I was to make you some shit with tacos, with some cilantro on it, would take a bite and be like, this tastes like fucking Mitchum. So strong you can skip a day. Or, instead, that's not getting into anybody who doesn't like it. Before we even get into whether or not you like it, 1 in 10 people eat that shit, and it's like, boy, howdy, do I love Ajax. Miss me with that. It's not like we have that for everything. This is why I don't understand why people fight for it. Because it's not like we have that for everything. It's not like 1 in every 10 people go to bite into chicken and they're like, man, this tastes like toothpaste. Like, that's not a thing. That's not a thing we deal with other regular food or accoutrement. It's just, there are people with different taste buds and you like it or you don't. But when 10% of the existing population in the world, aka some 750 million people, bite into it and it tastes like soap, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? Why do we do this to ourselves? It's asinine, man! Sir, don't you do a Bean Boozled incentive? I literally say, for the purpose of raising money for myself or for fundraising activities, I will bite into these beans knowing some of them will suck. I do it knowing the risk. Not because of the fact that I enjoy the other beans. It is for a thing. It's like the same thing. That's like making the same argument. Sir, you take money to bite into lemons. Therefore, everybody should enjoy cilantro. That's not the same thing! I literally do it for money because it sucks! And you're willingly trying to partake and force other people to partake. This is, I need everyone to understand, I genuinely believe what I'm talking about here, okay? I genuinely believe. This isn't like my fish take, where I argue that everyone who enjoys lobster is crazy and / or stupid, because God went out of his way to put an armored vehicle with fucking claws at the bottom of the ocean, and the only way that you can enjoy eating it is if you boil it alive right in front of you. I'm not getting into that, because that is still ultimately a joke. Because at the end of the day, at least the food tastes good to anybody who doesn't dislike it. It's not like there's 16% of people who bite into lobster and, oh, this tastes like eating my uncle's arm raw. Like, I need you to understand, I'm so deadly serious about this. I feel like everyone thinks I'm joking, and I categorically am not.
So we're supposed to go to a place called True View in the eastern sector. This conveyor also to take us there. You know, once you get used to it, they're actually kind of fun. Come on, Anoriand.
It does taste bitter, but that's why I like it. Mix it with onions and add it to carne asada tacos, chef's kiss. Or just add some onions to the carne asada tacos. You don't need to add the bitterness. I don't understand why you want to add bitterness. I'm allergic to shellfish, so if you say I should eat lobster ipso facto, you support That's not the same thing. I'm not saying everybody has to eat lobster. I am saying, and see, there's a difference between allergies and it just tastes like shit. Because allergies are a thing for goddamn near every food on this earth that some people contend with. What I'm saying is, atop the allergies and people's penchant to like or not like things, you have a 1 in 10 Russian roulette chance that this shit tastes like Irish Springs. Before we get into discussing the possibility of allergies and the possibility of you liking it or disliking it, you've got a Russian roulette chance of it just tastes literally inedible.
This is the right place, you think? I don't see the others, though.
She's right, and she should keep saying it.
Well, rather than sitting and waiting, we might as well explore a bit more. Huh? Anoriand, look over there. A Mamulja child? What are they doing here?
Okay, he is kind of adorable, I'm not gonna lie. She, they, I don't know. It's an adorable child.
You noticed too, right? The resemblance to Soraucha? The blue scales of Bunewa with the features of Hubiko. This can't be a coincidence. At any rate, it wouldn't do to leave such a small child on their own.
Come on, let's go after them. I feel like chasing a little child is probably outside of... Okay, sure. What are you doing? Don't worry! We're chasing a child. It's fine. Nothing to worry about. We just want to interrogate a small toddler.
So this is true view. I'm not sure what I'm looking at, but it does seem lively.
That is a GPU. I just need to be very clear. That's a fucking graphics card.
That building's just about the only one that isn't lit up. Not open for business at the moment, I guess?
That was made by NVIDIA. What up, little child?
Ah! I didn't see you there. Listen, we don't mean you any harm. We just want to talk. It's a bit odd, don't you think? They run off when we approach, only to suddenly reappear. Could it be they want to take us somewhere? Is that the way of it? You want us to follow you? So it is. All right then, lead the way.
Once you choose to depart, Wooklamot will accompany you. The blue-scaled Hoop-Ego-Jaw will then begin moving towards the destination. Mark your way to the destination without falling behind. If you leave Wooklamot behind for any reason or lose sight of the blue-scaled child, you may return to the starting point. Yeah, follow the child. His big dopey-ass fucking mouth. Just... I like how Black Twitter started talking about how black people don't even come up with insults. They describe what you're doing in an insulting tone, like, "Hey, yo!" This man loves his family.
Is this where you wanted to bring us?
Hold on, hold on. I got one that is just truly all-timer.
What is this place? If you're meant to relax here, it isn't working for me.
It was Dragonfly Jones who said it, right? I do believe it was Dragonfly Jones. I can't remember if it was him or if it was LeJethro Jenkins who said it. I know it was one of them. That's what it was. I'm just gonna... There's too many landmines in this one. But Caracal, I'm just gonna drop it into chat for you. Oh, shoot. Nope, wrong one. Put it in this chat. I'm just going to drop it into chat for you, and you can see. The first time I read this tweet, God, I was fucking crying. I was in tears the first time I read that tweet. Truly A+.
What is this place? If you're meant to relax here, it isn't working for me. Hey, what's your name? So, you're still not inclined to talk? He'll only talk if he's completely comfortable with you. You know him? After a fashion. But never mind that. How about something to wet your whistle? Adorable as you are, it's on the house. I can recommend our special, Her Majesty. I'll prepare one without liquor for the boy, too. Thanks, but no thanks. We're supposed to meet a friend named Kachua, but we ran into the child on the way and he led us here. Oh, so you're with Kachua. It was made by D. Samaro. This dude eating beans. Was eating beans in the movie theater. In that case, go and have a chat with Big Tassos there. He'll show you to a fun place. A+ shit. A+. What about him? I don't think he's in a mood to talk, so he can tend the bar with me. I'm almost positive he should not be allowed to do that. This is taking a turn for the strange, but you don't think we're walking into a trap, do you? Oh, by the by, you'll hear it spoken eventually, but if I had to take a stab at the pronunciation... here's the thing. I've heard it, and I've tried to properly redo it, and I keep screwing up, so I just keep saying fucking Kachua just to get through it. Kafkiwa is the more accurate. Kafkiwa. And you gotta have, like, some in there, but, yeah. Damned if this doesn't have suspicious written all over it. What is this fun place meant to be? Is Kafkiwa there? Well, I suppose there's only one way to find out. Okay. I'm looking at the time and the fact that I'm going to be back tomorrow. And so here's where I'm at. Oh, hey, I'm no longer in my slut area, y'all. Although I am in sweatpants, so, like... Depending on how you use the sweatpants, could still be in my slut era, but gonna... Screen going away. What quest are you on right now? This next one would be gives you teeth. 9 questions. Okay, perfect. So then we'll cut it off today, and this way I should be able to run through tomorrow, get through the number quest, and, you know, have a dungeon be how I ended off. Tomorrow, my current plan, barring any sort of weirdness, is I'm actually going to probably try and start a little early. Okay? I'll probably try and start around 4. And then run as late as I would normally run, so do a little bit of a longer stream, because I've been so, you know, hit and miss with doing shit up until now. You know, having dropped so many streams, so I'm probably going to start a little early. My current plan is, like I said, is... Hold on. My current plan is to be live at 4 o'clock. If that changes before tomorrow, I will let you all know. But my current plan is to be live at 4 o'clock Eastern. So, were you going to stream Metaphor after you beat Dawntrail? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I got to get my hands on Metaphor, and that being said, I'm that one's myself. So specifically, Liana, you weren't here. Basically, I'll go back over this because I talked about it towards the beginning of the stream, but I'll go back over it now. So I will not be continuing to Poopy Games. So moving forward, my plan is for the next couple streams that I'm going to finish Dawntrail because that's my goal. And then definitely for the remainder of the year, and we'll see how long it lasts into next year, I need to take a break from just playing brand new big release games beginning to end on stream. Like this year, it's been nonstop. It was Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, into FF7 Rebirth, into Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, into Dawntrail. Then we broke it up with Spoopy Games Month, and now I'm back to finishing Dawntrail. Like, I just need to step back and breathe. And there are other games coming out that, like, in a vacuum, I would probably normally stream. Dragon Quest III HD, I would want to do that too. Mario and Luigi Brothership. But, like, I need to take a breather from all that. So my plan is I'm going to finish Dawntrail, and then at least for the next bit, I'm going to here's the thing, I'm not sitting here being like, I don't want to play any games. At least for the next bit, I'm going to be streaming myself doing some of the challenge runs in various games that I will then turn around and try and make videos of. So I'm going to be working on my own to have the Suikoden video out very soon. And then, so after I'm done with Dawntrail, I'm going to stream my next RPG challenge run, which is going to be specifically in this version of it, of Final Fantasy IV. The advanced version, I'm going to be doing, can you beat Final Fantasy IV with only Edward? So I will be live streaming the, more or less the entire run of that challenge, and go from there. I have a couple of different challenges I would like to try streaming. Whether or not I do all of them that way, we'll see. But upcoming, I know some of the challenges I have planned are, I want to do, can you beat Final Fantasy IV with only Edward? Can you beat Suikoden 2 with losers only? And Breath of Fire 3 wrong builds only. Because Breath of Fire 3 notably has the master system, and there's some other rules I can impose to basically essentially make it like I can use a full team of characters and fully level them and this, that, or the other, but all of them are going to be played wrong, so to speak. But that is a thing that I will explain when I get there, because I have some ideas going. But yeah, so that's my current plan. I do want to play Metaphor. It may show up if I get to, and I get far enough, and it's as good as everyone says. It may well show up on my top 10 of the year kind of video, but I'm not going to stream it. Like, after everything else, deciding, okay, my next thing is another fucking 90 to 100 hour Atlas playthrough is just too much. It's too much. So, that's where I'm currently at with that. Alright. So, that's basically it, though. Get everyone caught up on the plan. So, that's going to be the plan moving forward. I'm going to try and get at least one video out this week. I was supposed to get 2 videos out this past week. Actually, like, and by this past week, I don't mean like yesterday being Friday. I mean the prior Thursday and Friday. But I just was getting to a point where I wasn't sleeping, and I would have ended up killing myself, and I kind of wiped my hands of it. I have a review that'll be dropping within 2 days to 3 days of Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. I did get a key from it from Square Enix, but just I did not have enough time to properly create the video, and I just had to say, listen, this review is going to come out late, and unfortunately, it is not going to put out great numbers, but it is what it is. I would rather not kill myself over it, and trying to be healthy about it. But I do have a review video coming out of that soon. Listen, I will say this. Romance Saga games are very hit or miss. I have never really connected with / stuck with a Saga game in my entire life. Because they're just so fucking weird and esoteric to figure out the nuances and mechanics of. I really like this remake of Romancing Saga 2. There's still some of the Saga weirdness and nuance, and randomness to it and all that, but I think they dialed it back just enough and added just enough normal RPG shit to it and some town building and things like that I find that I like it a lot more. And it's got this real cool story system of taking place over a series of generations. So the strength is not in the characters, because by and large, after a certain point, the characters are kind of just almost blank slate-ish, because they're jumping generation to generation, but they're fill-in characters based on things you've done and people you recruit and everything. But the story itself is really good. And the world building itself is really good. And again, the mechanics are flipped in such a way that I've genuinely enjoyed my time with it. So it's not going to come out and be I'm not going to drop a review and be it's a 9.5 out of 10. Everyone needs to play it. But it's a good time. So especially if you see it, Saga is the type of thing that's going to go on sale. If you see it down the line for $30, $40, it'll be worth picking up. 100%. It'll be a good old time. It's definitely the first Saga game that I can truly say that I picked up and been I'm in. The only other one that's even come close is Saga Frontier, and even then, I mostly was just in for the story of Alkaiser, because they gave you a fucking Super Sentai hero as a character. Will we make a video about Monster Hunter demo? I will not. I'll be all in on Monster Hunter, but I will not make a video on the demo. What up, Galaxies? Okay. So, that is about everything there. I believe I got it all out. And otherwise, I will see y'all tomorrow. So until then, love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I thank y'all. And until next time, I'll catch you later, fam. All right.